Chapter 2611. Waiting for a Signal. Chapter 2611. Waiting for a signal, a loud sound rang out from the underground palace, causing the entire deity to tremble. This was also the big fuse for tonight. The various powers all began to move. Murderous intent surged. It was the same outside the Imperial City, and it was the same inside the Imperial City. Long Fei's heart tensed up. He immediately wanted to leave, but then, before he could step out of Great Hall's door, he was stopped by Sky Envoy who sat on the throne. Let the martial competition begin. The corner of Zhao Haoqian's mouth rose as he coldly laughed and said, "Brat, where are you thinking?" Long Fei only paused slightly. He did not have any intention of stopping. In his eyes, the God Sect gathering was not worth a single cent. If not for Yurong, he would not even participate in the competition. So how would he be able to enter the universal realm? Indeed, he wanted to fly into an even stronger universal realm, wanted to find out his identity, wanted to find out about his sealed memories, and also wanted to find out how the mysterious technology and gaming system that was embedded in his soul came about. These things were not as important as his brother's life. Since Kong Kim was in danger, Long Fei would rush over without even thinking. Thus, Long Fei did not care about Zhao Haoqian at all as he walked out of Great Hall. Zhao Haoqian sneered. "Kid, are you afraid now? Ha ha, you overestimate yourself." Very contemptuous. The crowd burst into laughter. In other words, it's just alchemy. They have some skill in artifact forging, but they'll become dogs in a fight. Look at his anxious face. He looks so scared. I'm afraid he's already trembling. Is your alchemy strong enough to stand at the peak? Could a refining expert stand at the peak? Even if he couldn't, this world was a world ruled by warriors. What was the use of cultivating the auxiliary method? Martial arts are the way to go. You're right, the martial way is the king. No matter how high the level of your auxiliary method is, it's useless. No matter how arrogant he is. Ha ha! Many people began to laugh. Xiao Dai, the 17th son of the Demon Emperor, also quickly followed. At this time, the Xianming master panicked a little. Long Fei was his chess piece. If he were to escape now, it would be very disadvantageous for her. Immediately, the Xianming master's idea sent a sound transmission to him. "Long Fei, you stop right there." Long Fei ignored him. Xianming master immediately said, "If you leave, do you know what would happen to Yurong's body? I will definitely let her die by Zhao Haoqian's hands. If you leave, then she will definitely die today." Long Fei suddenly stopped. He clenched his fists tightly. His joints cracked, and his anger burst forth like a blazing flame. Xianming master's heart relaxed, and he said coldly, "You don't want to see your beloved girl die either, right? Even if she doesn't die, she would still marry an old eunuch. You don't want to see her being toyed with by an old eunuch, do you? So, be good, understand?" Long Fei said solemnly, "If Yurong dies, you will never have a good life ahead of you. If she dies, you will not be able to cultivate the Emperor's qi, and once your lifespan drops to a certain level, you will slowly die of old age. Even if she marries Zhao Haoqian, do you think he would let you cultivate his Emperor's qi? He will bring you into the universal realm. Stop dreaming. Old witch, I am your only hope. Understand? The only thing you can do is delay him and wait for me to come back." Long Fei said solemnly. "Also, I have something to tell you. The thing that I hate the most in this life is threatening me, using the lives of the people around me to threaten me." Long Fei was very angry. It could be said that his rage had reached its peak. If he could, he would have immediately killed Xianming master. However, he did not lose his cool. On the contrary, his heart was abnormally calm. There was only one Transformers on the side of the underground palace, so he had to hurry over. And Yurong, who was being controlled by the Xianming master, would definitely be fine for a while. Xianming master was very clear that Yurong was his only hope. No matter if she cultivated the Emperor's qi or was selected by the Sky Envoy, she could not let Yurong die. Xianming master's gaze tensed up as he said sinisterly, "Kid, aren't you afraid that I'll kill Yurong?" Long Fei admitted, "I'm afraid. I'm very scared." Xianming Master said. Then you still dare to... Without waiting for her to finish speaking, Long Fei immediately interrupted her and said, But you are more afraid that she will die. Xianming Master's eyes turned sinister. Anger burst forth. And also at this time, Yorong's face suddenly turned scarlet red. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Fresh blood splattered at Long Fei's feet. Long Fei's pupils instantly contracted to become eyes as wide as wheat, and his fury grew even more intense. Xianming Master said coldly, You are right. Yorong still cannot die to me, but under the control of my power, as long as she doesn't die, I can make her suffer a lot. I was only giving you a small warning just now. If you dare to step out of the door, even half a step, I'll let her shave your face. You don't want the woman you like to be ugly, right? Ha! Ha! Xianming Master laughed sinisterly. Anger. He was extremely furious. He was so angry that Long Fei was about to go berserk. His teeth were about to shatter. Both of his eyes stared straight at Yorong. The killing intent in his eyes was extremely strong. Xianming Master laughed. I said, Be good and listen to me, understand? Ha ha. Zhao Haoyan's pupils contracted slightly as he looked at Yorong, and his eyeballs started to spin as well. Sky Envoy also faintly smiled. Even if Xianming Master didn't stop him, he would, because he wanted to see all of Long Fei's strength. He wanted to know if Long Fei also had the power of the ancient inheritance in her martial way. Then this ancient inheritance is the perfect limit of the inherited power. If that was the case, the greed in Sky Envoy's heart became more and more intense and could no longer be suppressed. As long as he obtained one ancient inheritance, given him some time, he would be able to become the overlord of one of the universal realms. At that time, even the God's tribe wouldn't dare to touch him. Xiao Dai said in a low voice, Along, what's wrong with Elder Sister Yurong? Who hurt her? Did Big Sis hurt herself? Did that old hag do it? Chief Captain said, Junior brother. Another magic captain said, Junior brother do. He couldn't hold it in anymore. If Long Fei had not appeared, they would have already started fighting. Now that Long Fei had appeared, they had placed him at the center of attention. And Long Fei had been held back this entire time. Very passive. In their hearts, they were also unusually unhappy, wanting to help Long Fei take responsibility. Their words were filled with killing intent as they waited for Long Fei's order. Everyone looked at Long Fei. All of us now, at this moment. As long as Long Fei gave the order, the Sky Harmony Palace, the Imperial Palace, and the aliens' army outside would all attack. Just one word from Long Fei. Chapter 26:12, Entering Seconds. Chapter 26:12, Entering Seconds. As Long Fei said this, they would throw themselves at him without a care for their lives. Just one word from Long Fei. The army of millions of alien would charge into the capital in an instant. With just a word from Long Fei, the 100 powerhouses outside the palace would immediately charge into the palace. They were waiting for Long Fei's orders. At this moment, Long Fei was calmer than ever, because if he made a decision now, there might be a lot of people dying here. If it was the past, Long Fei would ignore everything else. However, right now, he was not just by himself, but also linked to the fate of many people. He did not want others to die for him. Then again, if it was just Zhao Haoyan, he might have taken a risk, but there was also a Sky Envoy whose cultivation was so strong that it could not be estimated. As long as this big boss was here, Long Fei had no chance of winning. Also, he still had to think of a way to break through the Emperor Zhenwu's realm as soon as possible so that he could become stronger. Huff! Long Fei let out a long and deep breath, forcefully suppressing his anger. He passed the rod he had just refined to Xiao Dai and said, Go to the underground palace and give this to Kong Kim. You should be easy to use it with. All of you go. Long Fei looked at the chief captain again. He was slightly surprised. Youngest junior brother, are you here alone? Long Fei said, Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Xiao Dai said along. Long Fei knew that Xiao Dai was worrying about him and said, If you all leave, I won't have any more worries. I will bring Kong Kim along to the Imperial Palace and wait for my orders together. Let's go, Long Fei said in a heavy voice. Chief Captain's gaze tensed up, and he said solemnly, Junior brother, you must be careful. Finished. Chief Captain said, Let's go. Xiao Dai's eyes were filled with tears, but she didn't know what to say. He took the red stick and left after 3 steps. They all want to stay. However, they all knew in their hearts that if they stayed, they would only be adding burden to Long Fei. Seeing them leave, Long Fei's heart relaxed, but it was not safe. To the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm powerhouse, the distance was just a matter of a few more seconds. Xiao Dai and the others were not safe. However, at least in Great Hall, Long Fei had no scruples. He could let go of this chance to kill. Long Fei turned around and returned to the center of the hall. Zhao Haoyan laughed coldly. What? No more escaping? Stay here and prepare to die. Long Fei coldly glanced at him and said, That's right. You should stay and prepare to take your life. Humph. Zhao Haoyan coldly snorted in disdain and said, You? I can make you kneel down and call me dad with one hand. You understand? Just self-confidence. Because he was Zhao Chongshan. Because he was the #1 powerhouse in Zhenwu continent, Zhao Chongshan, let alone the Zhenwu realm. Even if it was in front of him, he could easily crush the powerhouse with one hand. Alchemy, artifact forging, formation. His heart was on fire. He would make Long Fei regret coming to this world on the arena. Long Fei looked at Sky Envoy and said, Can we begin? The only thing he wanted to do was to kill the boss. Sky Envoy laughed indifferently. Do you want me to choose a place specially for you? Long Fei immediately shook his head. There's no need to waste your power. Just start now. Since this place isn't my house, it won't hurt to destroy it. Zhao Haoyan's gaze tensed up. Sky Envoy said indifferently, In order to avoid harming the innocent, it's better to enter my arranged competition in Boundary. Finished. Sky Envoy's finger flashed, and a halo sprang up. And then, the light shield, which looked like a semicircle, descended outside the Great Hall as it crushed everyone outside the hall in an instant. Those with slightly slower reactions were directly crushed into a pool of blood. They didn't even have the time to let out miserable shrieks. Hundreds of people were instantly killed. This was to avoid harming the innocent? Long Fei looked at the name of the Sky Envoy through the system and thought to himself, There's no change with your yellow name anymore. For a long time the name did not change color. In other words, the current Sky Envoy had a yellow name. Yellow represented his transformation. Although he would not take the initiative to attack, he could change at any time. You had no idea when that would happen. Moreover, as Long Fei watched the boundary fall, he was even more worried in his heart. The boundary was like a cage. If he went out, it would be... Long Fei asked, Can I not enter the boundary? Zhao Haoyan took a step into the boundary and said, Brat, don't waste time. Quickly come in and die. I still need to enter the bridal room with my fiancée later. Zhao Haoyan could not wait any longer. He hated that he couldn't immediately make Long Fei kneel down and beg for forgiveness. Sky Envoy smiled faintly and said, I can't. He looked like an old fox. Just as Long Fei had expected, this boundary was a cage. Not only that, this boundary possessed another ability. Her sensing ability was extremely strong. As long as Long Fei used even a trace of the ancient inheritance's power, he would be able to sense it instantly. And the moment he sensed the power of the ancient inheritance, once Long Fei won, the boundary would instantly trap him. At that time, the final winner would be him. The voice from the Xianming master in Yi Yorong's body sounded again. Long Fei, what are you mumbling about? Hurry up and enter the boundary. Zhao Haoyan urged once again, saying, You dog, hurry up and come in to die. They were clamoring nonstop. He could not wait to kill Long Fei. The people of 10 families also started to urge him, Hurry up and go in. Scare, brat, hurry up and go in. Let's see how you still act so arrogantly. Go in and accept your death. Seeing that Long Fei had not entered the boundary, the people started to clamor. They felt that Long Fei was afraid. After all, he was only a Zhenwu realm, and Zhao Haoyan was an Emperor Zhenwu's realm with completely different levels of strength, so he was completely not a match for her. If you go in, you die. Long Fei walked out of the hall, did not directly enter the boundary, but walked in front of Yuan Shan and said, "Elder Yu, if I'm the only one left inside, crush this space ring to pieces." The voice was very soft. Only Yuan Shan heard it. Yuan Shan was slightly stunned. He looked at the small space ring in his palm and did not react at all and muttered, "What's inside?" By the time he said it, Long Fei had already turned around and left, walking towards the entrance of the boundary. Yirong also walked over, but her gaze was still ice cold. However, the Xianming master in her body was still a little nervous, and she reminded Long Fei once again, "Boy, remember this. After you enter, kill Zhao Haoyan first. Otherwise, you won't be able to see Yirong for the rest of your life. Do you understand?" Long Fei didn't say anything and stepped into the boundary. Ahaha. The instant he stepped into the realm, Zhao Haoyan, who had already been accumulating power, struck out with his palm. The incomparably enormous aura of a true martial emperor smashed down like a million mountains. He wanted to kill Long Fei in one move. Chapter 26:13, Lich King, greetings, sir. Chapter 26:13, Lich King, greetings, sir. Fighting between three people was not a method of rotation. Instead, it was the three of them fighting in a free-for-all battle. However, Yirong did not follow Long Fei in. Instead, he stood at the entrance of the boundary. She knew that Zhao Haoyan would definitely launch an attack the moment he entered the boundary. It didn't matter who won. The one who won would be the Xianming master. This was all a ruse. Yirong saw that Zhao Haoyan, who was in the middle of boundary, had suddenly struck his palm towards her. Peak of strength. The power of genuine force has erupted to the peak. As expected, just as I had guessed, the power in Zhao Haoyan's body came from that old monster, Zhao Chongshan. Xianming master secretly tightened his eyes. At the same time, she also looked at Long Fei and quietly said to herself, "Kid, can you withstand this strike? Don't let me down. If you die, Yirong will die too." Haha. The boundary was transparent and was only shrouded by a halo of light. Everyone could clearly see what was happening inside. When Long Fei entered the boundary, the moment Zhao Haoyan made his move, many people sucked in a breath of cold air. "I'm going to die. If he suddenly makes a move, that kid will definitely be unable to block it." How are you going to block it? No matter how strong the Zhenwu realm is, it is impossible to be a match for the powerhouse of the true martial emperor. Serves you right. To call him arrogant, that's even more crazy. I don't like it when I see him. An earth leopard who thinks he knows alchemy, knows how to forge artifacts is crazy. This world is ruled by warriors. Kill him, kill him. Many people started to clamor. Sky Envoy was also slightly nervous. He was a little worried in his heart. After all, Zhao Haoyan cultivation was much higher than Long Fei's. What if his palm strike directly chopped Long Fei to death? He was someone who possessed an almighty support ancient martial arts technique. It would be such a pity if he died. However, Sky Envoy did not make a move to protect him. His eyes slightly narrowed as he muttered to himself, "Brat, don't disappoint me." In the boundary, Zhao Haoyan flipped his right palm. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The strong wind raged. An enormous force continuously tumbled out. As if there was a thick layer of cloud beneath his palm, it swept all of the true martial emperor's aura towards Long Fei's head. Zhao Haoyan said in an arrogant tone, "You dog, I call you madman. Die." He was venting his anger to his heart's content, and his expression was also incomparably malevolent. When Long Fei walked into the boundary, his entire body was squashed. The pressure from a million mountain, true martial emperor pressed down on his body. All of the meridians in his body, his blood, his strength, it all seemed as if they couldn't move at all. However, Long Fei did not use his own strength. When he was still in front of the boundary, he had already guessed that Zhao Haoyan would make his move the moment he entered the boundary. He had killed a person with all his might. This way, it would be a 1v1 situation, not a 2v1 situation. The power of the flipping cloud palm was ferocious, striking Long Fei in a palm strike. Long Fei was doomed. There was no saving him. Thus, the moment he entered the boundary, Long Fei's right hand moved and the mini 10-story Devil Tower appeared. The idea moved, summoned Demon General. Come out, the Xing Tian War God. This strike, Long Fei definitely could not resist it. He did not want to block it. Defense was not his personality. Attacking was his temper. The 10-story Devil Tower moved slightly and activated the summoning power from the Demon Tower, directly entering another plane, the Demon World. At this moment, the great hall of the Devil Realm trembled slightly. The demon god that had his eyes closed suddenly opened them, his body trembling slightly, with a trace of fear in his voice. It's here again. It's been summoned again. He nearly fell off his seat in fright. The demon generals were also stunned. Master, why did you summon it again? What does he take us for? His summoned beast? Just send anyone. That's right. The last time he sent out was General Xing Tian. He had already given him enough face, but who would have thought that this brat would succeed and want to summon us again after just a day? What does he think of our demon realm? Yes, just send him a random magic weapon. The demon generals all became angry. How arrogant was Magic Tribe to be summoned by a human? What was this? This was a form of humiliation for them. Furthermore, he had been humiliated by someone from the lower realms. This made him even more unhappy. However, the demon god's two eyes stared and shouted, "What do you know?" A furious roar. The entire demon palace's voice was instantly crushed. Everyone was stunned because they had never seen the demon god so angry before. They didn't understand why the demon god would be afraid of a kid from the lower planes. Indeed, the fiend god was very afraid. It was no ordinary fear. No one knew how much he was afraid of Long Fei. The moment he sensed the summoning of the demon tower, his heart instantly trembled. He knew that the fear in his heart was not fear, but reverence and reverence. It was because of the terror he felt from Long Fei's identity. Immediately, the demon god's brows tightened. This time, it seems to be even more anxious. Send Xing Tian there. I'm afraid. According to the report Xing Tian had made when he returned, Long Fei was not satisfied with sending Xing Tian out yesterday. Thus, they couldn't send Xing Tian back anymore. And then, the demon god's eyes tightened. The idea moved. Rumble. A loud boom resounded above the demon realm. Soon after, the distant sea of blood churned, a pair of huge blood-red eyes glimmering with red light, and a gigantic monster that looked like a monster from the Western world slowly rose from the sea of blood. All the demon generals in the demonic shrine were shocked. Lord Demon God, are we letting him go? Aren't you giving him face? He is. They were all shocked, speechless, because they never thought that the demonic god would wake this guy up. This was too unbelievable. That enormous demon general moved through the air and heavily crashed into the ground. Boom! The entire demon realm was trembling slightly. With a kick, the demon god stepped out of the demon palace, coldly saying, "Use all of your strength. Remember, you must satisfy Master Long Fei, understand?" The eyes of the giant demon general darkened, and he heavily nodded. And then, the summon from the demon holy general tower was immediately released onto the huge demon general's body. At this moment, the demon general's body vanished. It was also at this moment that an enormous power from the devil realm burst out from the devil tower. It was incomparably dense and was completely different from the power Xing Tian used last time. Long Fei trembled slightly. Did you not summon Xing Tian? Who is it this time? Don't give me a piece of trash or something. He was not finished. Buzz. A huge demonic figure landed, wearing a tattered cloak, with a pair of fleshy wings on its back and a large sword in its hand. He knelt down on one knee and spoke with a devil voice. Lich King pays his respects to the Lord. Chapter 26:14, Carnivore. Chapter 26:14, Carnivore. This battle situation, and this scene, too powerful. His eyeballs were about to pop out. It was hard to imagine. Long Fei was completely dumbfounded. Looking at the incomparably huge Lich King demon general, he was so excited that he couldn't even speak. Lich King, damn, what the F asterisk CK are you, demon god? Good job. Ha! I like it. Long Fei was instantly excited. He never thought that he would be able to create such a big boss. Ha ha ha! Long Fei's gaze darkened, staring at Zhao Haotian, who had chopped down with his palm. He laughed lightly and said indifferently, "Kill him." Lich King raised his eyes. The devil flames on his body instantly burst forth, like a blaze burning crazily. The two horns on his forehead suddenly erected. No defense. He directly used his head to block Zhao Haotian's flipping cloud palm. At this moment, all of his power was blocked by the Lich King, just like a smelly fart with no reaction at all. Zhao Haotian frowned. Lich King's eyes turned sinister as he said coldly, "Master said he wanted to kill you." In that instant, killing intent soared to the heavens. The entire plaza was shaken. This was still within the boundary of the Sky Envoy. If not, just by relying on the fact that the Lich King appeared for a moment, the entire palace would be overturned. Everyone had their mouths wide open as they looked up at the sky, looking like a retard. What's that? What kind of monster is this? Heavens, what did I see? Mother, I want to go home. Although there was a boundary here, but that kind of visual impact force could crush an ordinary person's heart. The impact was too strong. Sky Envoy tensed up and thought to himself, "It's from the devil realm again? Could he be someone from the demon realm? Or should I say, his ancient inheritance's power is called ancient summoning? If it's just a summon." Sky Envoy was a little unhappy in his heart. Summoning was also equivalent to summoning an auxiliary method and was not something that could be considered a martial skill. This was also one of the things he was not satisfied with. However, Sky Envoy did not stop him. He knew that the demon realm generals that Long Fei had summoned would not be able to last for long on this plane. It could have lasted a minute. Now, because in the ancient times of Boundary, there were only 30 seconds. The instant Lich King summoned it, a countdown appeared in Long Fei's mind. 30 seconds. Damn, the stronger you are, the shorter the time. We can't waste it this time. Long Fei shouted, "Kill." He was a little wasteful last night as a Xing Tian war god. If they had acted quickly in the beginning, Zhao Wuji, an infinite ancestor, would not have been able to save Zhao Haotian. Since Zhao Haotian had already become Zhao Chongshan, then he had to do it all he could. Lich King's body moved. The devil fire erupted like a volcano. Zhao Haotian's pupils suddenly tightened. In that instant, he sprung his body, intending to escape. Chua, how fast was the true martial emperor? 10,000 kilometers per second. However, the moment Zhao Haotian's body bounced away, Lich King grabbed him and directly grabbed his head. Half of his body was hanging in midair. Ah! Zhao Haotian screamed several times. Long Fei was excited. This scene was like that of a monkey or Lord Tathagata. It was useless no matter how smug you could be. He clenched his fist. Boom! The flames burst from between his fingers. Half of Zhao Haotian's body was also lightly rippling, as if he'd been killed in one move. Long Fei could not see the amount of blood on his head and did not know what was going on. However, just this clench of his fist would cause an ordinary Zhun Wu realm powerhouse to explode. Lich King frowned. In the next moment, his fist fiercely smashed into the ground. Rumble, rumble, dust rolled, and the ground continuously caved in. The entire boundary was covered in dust, making it impossible to see the situation inside. However, half a second later, the devil fire on Lich King's body crushed all of the boundary's dust. Only a big concave the size of a football field on Boundary was visible. It was a full 10 meters deep. In the middle, a head emerged from the ground, and the rest of the body was nailed into the ground like a nail. At this moment, Zhao Haotian's head was covered in blood, his hair was a mess, and a large chunk of his scalp was torn apart. He had never been in such a sorry state before. Never. In just 2 rounds, there was only a tiny bit of hair left on the top of his head. Long Fei was shocked. Everyone was shocked. Emperor Zhun Wu powerhouse? It was completely a smuff. He couldn't even describe what he was doing. In front of the Lich King, Zhao Haoyan was like a seedling waiting for a Xiao Bai. What an awesome explosion! Ha! Long Fei was wild with excitement. He could not imagine that Lich King's power was too violent and too powerful. At the same time, Long Fei secretly thought to himself, Demon God, this time was not bad. Zhenwu Continent was only the weakest plane on the edge of the Grand Mist Realm. It could be said that any plane's level was higher than it. Although the Devil Realm's plane was not the center of Universal Realm, it was still much stronger than it. Although the power of the Lich King he summoned out was restricted by the Ancient Code, he was still extremely strong. Looking at Zhao Haoyan, who was on the verge of death, Long Fei said fiercely, "Who is currently trembling? Acting cool with me? Come on, come the F***CK. You want me to kneel and call you father? Who's kneeling on the ground right now and can't get up?" Long Fei vented his anger fiercely, looked at Zhao Haoyan, who was inside the deep pit, and clenched his fists. Killing intent soared to the heavens. At this moment, Lich King slightly said, "Master, it's just a dead dog. Why would you need to personally kill it?" "I will do it." "Very good." He always remembered the demon god's words. He must make Long Fei satisfied. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, all right, go." He was exceptionally satisfied with the Lich King. It could be said, he was never unsatisfied. Every time he saw the Lich King's boss, he would feel satisfied, and every time he did so, he would feel satisfied. Lich King moved, raising the sword in his right hand, lifted up in the air. Sword light flew in every direction. Long Fei looked at Zhao Haoyan, who was sticking his head out from the pit, and smiled. "This is as F***king as splitting firewood. You will die a very miserable death." "But I like it." Long Fei liked Lich King's temper. It didn't matter if you were strong or not. It didn't matter if you were about to die. "I will use my strongest power to kill you. I was just afraid that you wouldn't die a miserable death." This was how crazy he was. Zhao Haoyan was unable to even speak after these two moves. He had a completely stupefied expression on his face as he looked at the gigantic long sword above his head. His mind became slightly sinister. A cold light flashed in the corner of his eyes. Long Fei laughed. "No matter how strong you are now, it's useless. Explode for me." With a loud crash, the Lich King chopped down with his sword. Chapter 26:15, Black Dragon, come out. Chapter 26:15, Black Dragon, come out. Walala, walala. Space split apart. A thin line of cracks appeared one after another. This strike was too awesome and too cool. Unstoppable. Long Fei was also extremely excited. Let's finish you first, then deal with the old granny, and then the boss could not be killed. This feeling was as good as the heavens. Long Fei stared deadly at Zhao Haoyan, who was in the deep pit. At the same time Lich King attacked, the aura on his body crazily surged outwards. Highly alert, not giving Zhao Haoyan any chance to escape. Moreover, Long Fei was also preventing Yi Yorong from suddenly entering the boundary to launch a sneak attack. The expression in Zhao Haoyan's eyes became more and more hidden. With a flash, he immediately turned into two black pupils, and black flames unceasingly emitted from the bottom of the deep pit. His body also began to turn black. Enormous auras surged from deep underground, and at the same time, vicious roars could be heard. It was a voice that filled people with fear. It was a sound that caused one's mind to be unable to endure. The entire palace, even the entire god capital, began to tremble rapidly. Be it the demon beast mounts or the poultry, all of them knelt on the ground, shivering. This aura was too terrifying. As for Long Fei, his eyes narrowed. He didn't know why, but he felt a sense of familiarity towards the black aura and the angry roars coming from underground. It was as if he had heard of it somewhere. Where have I seen it before? It was as if he was trying to remember something, but he couldn't. The memory seal firmly locked his memories. What is that sound? Long Fei's heart sank. At this time, he was not in the mood to care about all these. His entire focus was on Zhao Haoyan, and it was about to explode. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! The devil flames on the Crow King's body moved, directly burning the devil's sword and chopping it down. Dead? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The pupils of countless Zhao family guards constricted. The noble eyes of the 10 families were also staring closely. Zhou Yaozong's eyes shone with a spirited light as he thought to himself, kill him, kill him. Zhao Haoyan would just fall, and the Zhao family's pillar of energy would fall. Then the Zhao family's Jiangshan would be finished. At that moment, the million-strong army had already entered the city, and once Zhao Chongshan fell, the god was about to be taken over by him. Zhou Yaozong was extremely excited. Xianming Master also revealed an excited expression. With Zhao Chongshan's death, this world would be hers and would not be able to summon out anything in a short amount of time. She would become a descendant of God's tribe. As long as she received her longevity, she would have the opportunity to rise up once again. The most important thing was to find the power of the ancient inheritance, so that she could become the new king of hell. It was as if everything was right in front of him. Many people were excited. Many people stared at Boundary. The demon's sword descended. Zhao Haoyan's eyes turned sinister as he roared, "Ah!" As the black-colored flames surged out, the roars from underground became even louder. Suddenly, Sky Envoy squinted his eyes as he smiled and flicked his finger. Buzz! A hum came from the Boundary. A fluorescent light flashed and surrounded Lich King's body. And at that moment, Sky Envoy gently waved his finger. Buzz! In an instant, the Lich King disappeared. It suddenly disappeared. It was a speed that was hard to imagine. At this moment, the countdown of a dozen seconds left in Long Fei's mind turned into 0. Long Fei was confused. The entire audience was stunned. Zhou Yaozong instantly stood up, his eyes narrowing. How could this be? Everyone quieted down. Many of them rubbed their eyes, unable to react. What happened? What happened just now? What's going on? Didn't a monster use a sword to chop down on us just now? Why did it suddenly disappear? What's with the fluorescence in the Boundary? F***ck me. It was completely a fight between gods. He couldn't understand it all. Was the power just released by the Crown Prince? To suddenly make such a huge demon general disappear, just how strong must that be? He had no idea what was going on. Long Fei's pupils suddenly turned as he stared at the high and mighty Sky Envoy. He knew very well. The only person who could do this was Sky Envoy. Long Fei cursed in his heart. Fuck. The Sky Envoy smiled lightly and said, the martial competition is about comparing the strength of the martial way and not summoning some trash from another world here. Easily stated. What he wanted to see was Long Fei's power in the martial Dao, not the power to summon it. If Lich King were to kill Zhao Haoyan, how would he look at Long Fei's potential? How could he force out the hidden strength in his body? Isn't summoning a type of martial arts power? Long Fei shouted. Sky Envoy laughed blandly. If I say it's not so, then it's not so. I make the decision here. What I say is what, understand? In the Zhenwu continent, he was a god. He represented everything. At this time, he didn't want to speak nonsense with the Sky Envoy. This was a world of the powerhouse. Strength was the law. Strength was everything. It was useless to say anything more. Moreover, Long Fei had more important things to do. While he was sick, he had to take his life. Right now, Zhao Haoyan was already on his last breath. With only a bit of skin left on the top of his head and the fact that he couldn't move, he was like a live target. And Zhao Haoyan himself was also very suddenly. Seeing that the Lich King suddenly disappeared, he also laughed wildly. Ha ha ha. Kid, you want to kill me? You're still far from it. Ha ha. Zhao Haoyan laughed crazily as if he was a monster. The black flame inside the pit became stronger and stronger. Long Fei's eyes turned cold. You like to laugh, right? Wait until we get to the Hall of the Underworld, and I'll let you laugh your ass off. Boom! The underworld thunder fell into his hands. Black bolts of lightning wreaked havoc. Xianming Master's eyes suddenly became tense. Underworld thunder? Why is the Ming clan's holy artifact in his hands? Could it be that the Xianyu sect's underground tomb contains this master underworld snake? Perfect! Everything is for me. Xianming Master sneered sinisterly. At the same time, as soon as Yurong stepped in a boundary, she knew that Zhao Haoyan was about to die and that it was time for her to go up on stage. It was almost over. Xianming Master was laughing maniacally in his heart. I'm the last person to laugh, ha. At this moment, all of Long Fei's attention was on Zhao Haoyan. He did not even know that Yurong had walked into the boundary. He was sprinting with all of his strength. He rushed towards the deep pit. Black lightning wreaked havoc on the underworld thunder. Long Fei said sinisterly, I'll let you laugh enough, go die. In an instant, a heavy blow landed. Zhao Haoyan's black eyes were abnormally sinister. Seeing that Long Fei's attack had descended, he laughed maniacally, as if he was a freak. Your offerings are here. Black Dragon, come out. Chapter 26:16, Hardness on. Chapter 26:16, Hardness on, your offerings are here. Black Dragon, come out. Zhao Haoyan growled sinisterly, a black flame rushing out of his body. Roar! The dragon roar suddenly exploded. Next, the black gas coming out of the crater was condensed, gathering together one by one. A moment later, a dragon formed from extremely ferocious black flames appeared in the boundary. Twisting, black flames billowed. The earth trembled as ripping sounds resounded in the sky. Savage horse. The entire palace was crushed, and the surrounding people were all dumbfounded. All of them looked at the black dragon in the boundary with dumbstruck expressions. Stunned. Dragon. It's a dragon. So there really is a dragon in this world. It's a dragon. Indeed, Zhao Haoyan is the true dragon. The Zhao family is a descendant of a dragon. Oh my God! Many people kneeled in unison, unable to control their knees. It was as if some kind of powerful force was crushing their hearts. It also seemed to be a type of reverence, as if it was revering the gods. He knelt on the ground and kowtowed heavily. Dragon. It was a type of divine being, a lofty existence that was incomparably powerful. Now that it had appeared in front of them, they couldn't even believe their eyes. Ha ha ha! Ha ha! Zhao Haoyan started laughing wildly. Seeing that everyone was kneeling on the ground, he became even more excited. With a heavy sound, he said, Fight against me? What are you going to use to fight me? Come on, come kill me. Zhao Haoyan's anger burst, his eyes staring straight at Long Fei. At the same time, the gigantic eyes of the black dragon stared straight at Long Fei from midair. That feeling of oppression was incomparable. It was even more unbearable and painful than the crushing pressure from Zhao Haoyan's Emperor Zhenwu that came from a million mountains. Moreover, Long Fei was also shocked. This world really has dragons. He was shocked. At the same time, in the darkness, the black dragon surged, roared, and crushed everything. The scene was different from the one in front of him, which was the black dragon formed from the black flames. The black dragon in his mind was incomparably huge, and just the black dragon in his mind was 10,000 times bigger than its body. On the screen, in the middle of the black dragon's head, there was a person standing in the middle of the two dragon horns. His long hair swayed, and his clothes made kacha sounds. He stepped across the entire sky and looked down at the world like a king. And that person was a youth. If one looked carefully, they would see that the youth was Long Fei himself. Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. His heart felt as though it was about to explode. What? How could it be him? Black dragon. Is it my mount? That's not right. I have never seen a dragon. I have never seen one. Could it be another memory from a seal? F***CK. System, damn you. Has my memory been destroyed by the seal? Long Fei was going a little crazy. He really wanted to find out, but the more he thought about it, the more blurry he became. The memories in his mind, I simply did not contain these images. He only had 20 years of memories from Earth, and the memories in Zhenwu continent were only fragments to him. Even he himself did not know if it was his own memories. Just as he was thinking about all these, Long Fei turned around to take a look at the screen. In that instant, a dozen dragons followed. That scene, it was so cool that it was hard to describe. Long Fei couldn't even control himself. Holy sh*t. Riding on a dragon with a large group of dragons behind him. My God, what am I doing? Who the hell am I? Why are there so many dragons? Sigh. Great master system. Can you at least send me some memories to let me know about my relationship with these dragons? Long Fei really wanted to know, because this scene was filled with excitement. He didn't even believe that it was him. It was also at this time. The black dragon fiercely flipped over and roared. Then, the image in his mind instantly vanished. Long Fei was a little unsatisfied. He thought to himself, if I had a dragon as my mount, that would be awesome. He raised his gaze. The black dragon, made of black flames, glared at him, seemingly observing something. Long Fei's mind was set. No matter what kind of relationship the dragons in the image had with him, his current target was Zhao Haoyan. Moreover, in this situation, he quickly made his move. The underworld thunder in his hand flickered with black lightning. True essence wildly surged, and the lightning became even more ferocious as he said with a heavy voice toward Zhao Haoyan. So what if it's a dragon? If you mess with Laozi, Laozi will do the same to him. It directly exploded above Zhao Haoyan's head. Just a little bit more health. Just one move. As long as the underworld thunder hit him, he would die, and whatever dragon he made would disappear. Ha ha, ha ha. Zhao Haoyan laughed madly in disdain. He did not care about Long Fei's attack at all, because he understood just how terrifying this dragon that was formed from black flames was. Zhao Haoyan said sinisterly, "You dog, you basically know nothing about dragons. You have no idea how strong it is. You have no idea what you're facing. In front of him, you're not even an ant. Tremble." Zhao Haoyan sneered coldly. He was filled with confidence because he knew that Long Fei was about to die. At this moment, Yurong, who had stepped into the boundary, suddenly stopped in her tracks. Seeing the black dragon in the boundary, she stopped. His heart tensed up. Zhao Chongshan, this monster actually managed to cultivate the Emperor's Qi of the dragon bloodline to such a degree. Terrifying, but this also means that the power of the Emperor's Qi is incomparably strong. As long as I am able to break through, I will be able to ascend. She did not move. Seeing Long Fei rush towards her, Xianming Master sneered and said, "Yurong, what do you think he looks like?" He rushed up without even knowing what he was facing. He sounded brave, but in reality, this is what a brainless person is. Going up is death. Yurong was struggling desperately. He was frantically struggling. He wanted to break through the binding, but it was just useless. Her heart was screaming and crying blood. Long Fei, don't. However, it didn't matter how loud her voice was. Long Fei could simply not hear her. Ha ha ha. Xianming Master laughed coldly and said with a face full of disdain, "Seems like my chess piece has already been broken. What rubbish." Chapter 26:17. Boss Long Fei. Chapter 26:17. Boss Long Fei? Xianming Master laughed coldly. Long Fei was but a pawn to her. He had already played his part. At least, Zhao Haoyan was already severely injured. Being able to perform to such a state had already exceeded Xianming Master's expectations. After all, she had already treated Long Fei as cannon fodder from the very beginning, and only wanted him to exhaust more of his strength. He was going to die now. You wrong. This is the future that I was talking about. I really don't know why you like such a brainless man. He isn't worthy of you at all. Look at him, he's about to die. You're still screaming and struggling, but you should be happy because you can finally get rid of him. Yurong roared, "Master, I beg of you, please save him. I'll let you do whatever you want. I'll immediately marry Zhao Haoyan. I definitely won't go back on my word. No, you can even let me marry Zhao Chongshan. I beg of you, please save Long Fei. The reason is that I'll listen to you about anything from now on." She really had no other choice. She hated that she couldn't die for Long Fei, but she couldn't even control her own body. Xianming Master smiled coldly and said, "Save him? If you hadn't begged him for mercy 3 months ago, he would have already died. Do you know what I regret the most in my life? That was when I let him go. Now that he's going to die, Do you think I'll go and save him? This kind of trash. What's the point of me saving a brainless person? I can't wait to see him die. Don't worry. I will make you do as you wish, and marry Zhao Chongshan as you wish. But now, I realize that it would be better for you to directly marry Zhao Chongshan than him, since that would save me a lot of trouble. I will marry a young eunuch, and an old eunuch will also marry me. Huh? This is your life, Xianming Master said excitedly. If this black dragon was controlled by Zhao Haoyan, then she wouldn't be his match. If that was the case, she only had one choice: admit defeat, letting Zhao Haoyan win, and using Yurong as a bargaining chip, in exchange for an opportunity to cultivate the Emperor's Qi of dragon bloodline. She believed, since Zhao Chongshan could cultivate a black flame divine black dragon, she could too. Moreover, she would be even stronger. Everything was under her control. No matter who God's sect gathering won this battle, she would be the final victor. Yurong sobbed silently. At this moment, she had lost all hope in her master. He did not scold or beg again. She was already numb. She had already thought about it. If Long Fei died, she would die with him. Tears fell down, and he silently looked at Long Fei as he muttered to himself, Long Fei, wait for me. I'm going to die. That brat is courting death. Either he's a lunatic or there's a problem with his brain, and he actually still wants to face the attack head on. Could it be that he's stronger than the dragon? He's courting death. Long Fei. It's almost back. Long Fei. Yuan Shan. Wu Yi. A few elders of the Xianyu sect rushed towards the boundary and shouted loudly. Long Fei, come back quickly. He was facing a dragon, a creature that had never appeared in the Zhenwu continent before. In their eyes, dragons were gods. They were invincible, just like how Earth's people thought in their previous life. Dragons were invincible. Although it was only a dragon condensed from black flames, it was still a dragon. Long Fei knew too. He knew it better than anyone, but he didn't have a choice. If he didn't take this opportunity to fight, he had no chance of winning. Zhao Haoyan's strength was much stronger than his. Once he recovered, he knew that he would definitely not be his match. He could only take it head-on. They could only kill Zhao Haoyan when he was heavily injured. So what if you're a dragon? Do I have to say it after I ride on a dragon? Long Fei roared in his heart. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The underworld thunder's power exploded crazily, as though it was magnified by 10,000 times its usual size. Lightning and thunder were controlled in Long Fei's hands and smashed toward Zhao Haoyan's head. Zhao Haoyan said solemnly, Black Dragon, devour him. He is the offering I gave you first. Devour him. The black dragon's body curled up. With a sudden flip, he charged down. The black flames pressed down. It was simply unimaginable how powerful he was. The fierce wind blew on a Long Fei's body, as though it was a gigantic blade that weighed 10,000 tons slashing onto his body. It was incomparably painful. But Long Fei did not retreat at all. He clenched his teeth and resisted the attack with all his might. So what if it's a dragon? Long Fei also roared out, I am Long Fei, and I am the ancestor of a dragon. Ah. The underworld thunder rumbled. Down. The gigantic black dragon suddenly dropped as well and blocked Long Fei's path. Both of its huge dragon eyes suddenly glared, and the dark black pain contracted. At that moment, that gaze could crush a person's mind. Too terrifying. The black dragon let out a roar from its throat, opened its black mouth, and was about to swallow Long Fei whole. With a wail, the Yurong suddenly let out a sound. The gifted soul of Underworld suddenly erupted. Its entire body was shrouded with the image of the Dark Phoenix, as it hysterically roared out, Long Fei. The center of Xianming Master's brows tightened. He was shocked that Yurong had broken through his shackles, and at the same time, an even more powerful energy directly suppressed Yurong back. The gifted soul of Underworld on Yurong's body also disappeared. He returned to that state of indifference once more. Xianming Master sneered and said, You can't change anything. No one can't save him. And don't even think about saving him. Xianming Master smirked. Zhao Haoyan, was also laughing coldly with pride. Brat die. Ha ha. The black dragon opened its bloody mouth, a powerful suction force sweeping out from its throat. At this moment, Long Fei's underworld thunder descended and heavily smashed into the black dragon's body. The black dragon had no reaction at all. Not even the slightest bit of blood was shed. Zhao Haoyan was even more excited and laughed out loud. Brat, tremble, you're going to die soon. Such a huge underworld thunder didn't even have a sliver of blood on it. The black dragon's defense is too strong? Or could it be he couldn't be attacked by a spirit body? At this moment, Long Fei was panicking in his heart because the pressure from the dragon was just too strong. Right now, his brain was short-circuited and he could not think of any other way. This was also because the dragon's visual impact was too strong. He couldn't react at all. Moreover, if such a powerful underworld thunder's power could not injure him, then what about other forces? At this moment, Long Fei was only half a meter away from the black dragon. The long black flame dragon whisker was dancing above his head, and its two huge dragon eyes were staring at him, making him unable to move. Long Fei's heart slightly sank. Am I going to die? The black dragon opened its bloody mouth as a strong suction force came out of its throat, wanting to suck Long Fei into its mouth. A shout that Eorong let out just now resounded in his mind. Long Fei, boss! Chapter 26:18, Black Dragon Insane. Chapter 26:18, Black Dragon Insane, a sudden sound. Very strange. For some inexplicable reason, the black dragon felt a little sluggish, as if its brain had suddenly ruptured and its body had stopped moving. This was the voice that came from his heart. No one heard him. At this moment, the black dragon stopped. He looked at Long Fei and muttered in his mind, Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei. He didn't know why. This name felt extremely familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had heard it before. It was like two words that had always existed in the depths of his memories. His sudden stop caused everyone to tremble. Zhao Haoyan's complacent mouth immediately became distorted, as though he had seen a ghost. Black Dragon, those are your sacrifices. Swallow them. Zhao Haoyan said loudly with respect. The black dragon remained motionless. Zhao Haoyan was not willing to give up and said loudly again, Black Dragon, eat him. Why are you in a daze? This brat's body has pure, true essence and powerful strength. Eating him will give you an even greater power. Eat him. He refused to give up. Moreover, he did not understand what the black dragon was thinking. From a moment he overthrew the Emperor of Wei. He accepted the dragon bloodline chamber. That time, the envoy of the gods' tribe released a stream of power from the dragon pillar in the secret room. The originally stone dragon pillar turned black under the power of the dragon pillar, as it sat on the pillar as if it was alive and started to move. Sky Envoy also did not say what it was. He didn't dare to ask. However, after cultivating for more than 10 years, he slowly came to know that the person imprisoned on the stone pillar was the dragon soul. From that time onwards, he began to search for different geniuses, and other powerhouses used them as sacrifices to the black dragon. Slowly, the black dragon on the stone pillars began to emerge, and then he condensed his spirit body through the black flames, becoming his strongest trump card. In the past, when he offered up the offerings, the black dragon had swallowed them without hesitation. But this time, Zhao Haoyan was a little confused. Why was it like this? This is the black dragon he raised. He should have listened to him. However, he actually did not eat Long Fei. One must know that the thickness of the true essence on Long Fei's body was the strongest person he had ever seen. Seeing the black dragon motionless, Zhao Haoyan started to feel a little unhappy and shouted out in a heavy tone, Are you deaf? I told you to eat him. The black dragon acted as if it didn't hear him at all, still not moving. What's going on? Even Sky Envoy's eyes tightened as he thought in his heart. How could this happen? This black dragon. It should be a sinful dragon that the clan head of the dragon clan, Long Wutian, has given to the god's tribe. Logically speaking, his memories should have been completely erased, and it was only used to display the might of the god's tribe. Black Dragon, dragon soul. Long Zhanting used his almighty being to allow them to enter the universal realm and return to the dragon clan. But all of the 14 dragon ancestors were handed over to the god's tribe to be dealt with. The 100 dragons who had entered the universal realm during the primordial war of the gods were either dead or crippled. 100 years had passed. There were less than 10 people still alive, because they were all imprinted with a mark of a traitor. All of these were because of Long Fei. It was also done by Long Wutian for God's tribe to see. What happened 100 years ago? The Sky Envoy didn't know, but he was very clear that this black dragon was the dragon soul that was exiled by the God's tribe here to suppress the plane. Its black dragon's body was still being suppressed by the God's tribe's Wash Sky Pool S. Memory is 0. The tool used by the God's tribe to suppress him. He had no consciousness of his own, but now he was thinking, trying to break free from the shackles of his memories. Suddenly, Sky Envoy's gaze tensed up, and a sharp light flashed out, and he thought to himself, could it be that this is his power of ancient inheritance? Is he able to control the dragon? She stared fiercely at Long Fei. Is that so? The dragon race is one of the most ancient races in the ancient world. There are even rumors that the first race in the ancient world is not the Ming clan, but the dragon race. He can control dragons? I have never heard of such an ancient inheritance. Sky Envoy did not understand and started to ponder. But the surrounding people exploded into a flurry of discussion. What's going on? How can this be? Why didn't this dragon devour this brat? What the hell are you doing? Could it be that the colossal dragon fell asleep? I heard that the dragon is addicted to sleep. However, at this critical juncture, it fell asleep. Isn't that a bit too ridiculous? Don't be anxious. That brat definitely won't be able to escape death. Xin Yusek's Yurong has already entered the boundary. The boundary's gates are already closed. No matter how capable that kid is, he won't be able to escape the boundary, and sooner or later, he will be eaten by a huge dragon. Wait a little longer. Discussions broke out. They were all shocked, but no one thought that Long Fei would survive. With the door of the boundary closed, Long Fei had no way out. Xianming Master was startled. What are you doing? Yurong became excited. I knew it. Long Fei will definitely not die, even if he has to face an even stronger opponent. Xianming Master snorted and said, not dying? Do you think the black dragon will let him go? I think it will be swallowed in the next bite. What the hell is Zhao Chongshan doing? He summoned the black dragon, and now he can't control it. Is that all right? Xianming Master muttered. However, she laughed secretly. If Long Fei kills Zhao Haoyin, then I will win. Haha. In the deep pit, Long Fei was still looking straight at the black dragon. Long Fei himself didn't know why the black dragon had suddenly stopped, but he could feel the confusion in the black dragon's eyes. He was very familiar with this gaze, because he had this look in his eyes every time a memory shard appeared in his mind. He was confused and puzzled, unable to figure out what exactly it was. Long Fei did not speak either, staring straight at the black dragon. The scene from the memories just now appeared in his mind. That black dragon, the dozen or so huge dragons behind him. Azure dragon, poison dragon, gold dragon, sea dragon. Suddenly, Long Fei looked at the black dragon's eyes, and then, thinking back to the black dragon in the image, his heart immediately sank. He said in astonishment, Black Dragon Ancestor. It was also very sudden. He himself did not know why the words Black Dragon Ancestor suddenly popped out from his mouth. It was also at this time. The black dragon stared at Long Fei and said softly, B-Boss, H-Boss? Roar. He roared fiercely, his eyes filled with incomparable pain. Zhao Haoqian roared out, Bastard, I'll make you eat him. Roar. The black dragon soared into the sky, charging towards the sky and starting to go crazy. Chapter 26:19. The Dead, I'm Afraid It's You. Chapter 26:19. The Dead, I'm Afraid It's You. Roar. 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 The dragon's roar raged. Roar, 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 roar. The entire boundary was also in turmoil. Roar, a groan of pain, just like a person screaming in pain, flying up into the sky. The black dragon did not stop at boundary. Buzz. With a leap, a powerful shot out from the boundary and directly collided with the head of the black dragon's forehead. The black dragon let out a furious roar. He rammed into it once more. Buzz. The backlash from the boundary struck his head again. The black dragon did not stop. He rammed into the wall ferociously, like a man with a splitting headache. He used this pain to cover up the pain in his head. The black dragon was like this now. No one knew what had happened in the sudden upheaval. Zhao Haoyan was immediately stunned. Long Fei was the same, but he could feel the pain the black dragon had. It was the same when he attacked the memory seal, but it was not as intense. At this moment, the black dragon was just a dragon soul. The two words Long Fei were too much of shock to him, and he frantically tried to think about it, but while he was thinking about all this, his brain felt as if it had split open. It was as if countless ants were crawling on it and devouring his brain. The pain was too unbearable. This was the seal of the god's tribe, unable to break through. It was worse than death, but he wouldn't die. Roar, roar, roar. The black dragon roared more and more, his heart asking frantically, "Who am I? Who am I? Black dragon ancestor. Am I a black dragon? Long Fei. Who is Long Fei? Who is it? Is that boss? Why? Why? I don't dare to swallow him. Why do I feel a familiar feeling coming from his body? Why? What exactly is hidden in my memories?" He crazily abused himself. Only by crazily hitting his head on it would he be able to alleviate the pain in his mind. The pain of hundreds of millions of ants tearing the dragon's soul apart. The Sky Envoy laughed coldly and said, "Seems like the ancient power in his body isn't under his control. He probably hasn't activated it yet. But why is the black dragon suddenly going crazy? Why is that?" Sky Envoy squinted his eyes. He did not know the reason. 100 years ago, he was still just an outer disciple of the god's tribe and had yet to enter the god's tribe. He didn't know much about the dragon race either. He only knew that the dragons had submitted to the god's tribe and become its fiercest dog. That was all. He's gone mad. The dragon is going crazy. Oh my God, what happened? How did this happen? What did the kid do to the dragon? The surrounding people were all dumbstruck. They had no idea what was going on as they watched the colossal dragon go berserk. Everyone's minds were completely crushed. This was also because they had the protection of the Boundary S. Otherwise, they would have been dead a long time ago. Zhao Haoyan roared heavily. "Black Dragon, have you gone mad? I told you to eat him. I command you, you bastard." Zhao Haoyan roared crazily. However, the black dragon still continued to clash with the boundary, as though the dragon's soul was about to split apart. Xianming Master was secretly shocked. What happened? Why did the dragon go mad? What did that kid do? She had looked at it very carefully. He did not even let the chi on Long Fei's body go. But nothing happened, just a man and a dragon staring at each other. Nothing happened. Yirong laughed excitedly and said, "Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei." She softly read Long Fei's name. Xianming Master coldly asked, "Are you happy?" Yirong said, "Yes, I am very happy." Xianming Master's eyes turned sinister as he slapped him. In the world of idea, after being slapped down onto the ground, the 5-finger marks on Yirong's face could still be clearly seen. Xianming Master laughed coldly. "Are you happy now?" Yirong raised both of his hands. The corners of his mouth still had a happy smile, and he said, "I am happy." Xianming Master's eyes turned sinister as he said coldly, "Bitch." Yirong was not moved in the slightest and continued to mutter his name softly, "Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei." It was as if she was praying for Long Fei. At this moment, Long Fei watched as the black dragon continuously rammed against the boundary. The top of his head, which was made up of black flames, began to tear apart. He didn't know why. Long Fei felt a bit of heartache. Not caring about anything else, the idea moved and directly entered the Black Dragon's sea of consciousness with a heavy sound. Black Dragon Ancestor. He did not care whether the Black Dragon was the Black Dragon Ancestor in his memories or not. He just called it that. The Black Dragon suddenly stopped and asked blankly, "Who are you? Who am I?" As expected, Long Fei muttered in his heart, "It should be the same as me, where his memories have been blocked by the seal. It's just that the seal in his body is carrying a powerful anaphasic force." Long Fei said, "My name is Long Fei. I don't know why, but I have a particularly familiar feeling when I look at you. It was just like, you are my brother, just like that." Long Fei said truthfully. That was what he felt. Brother? Brother? Are we brothers? No, we are not brothers. You are human. I am a dragon. How can we be brothers? But, why should I call you boss? The Black Dragon was in extreme pain. He didn't know how to control it. He wanted to kill. He wanted to crazily kill. But, although Long Fei was in his sea of consciousness, his dragon soul consciousness did not dare to have the slightest bit of disrespect, and even more so, did not dare to have the slightest bit of consciousness that he wanted to kill Long Fei. He had never felt this way before. He had never feared a human before. He could not understand. Why? The Black Dragon roared once more. Long Fei didn't know how to help him. At this moment, Zhao Haoyan roared once again, "Black Dragon, you useless beast. I told you to eat him. Did you hear me? Eat him. I order you to eat him." Roar. Roaring furiously, the Black Dragon turned its body and ignited its flames. Suddenly, the Black Dragon dropped down from the sky, rushing straight down towards the deep pit. Zhao Haoyan laughed excitedly. "You finally listened to him and ate him. Eat him. Brat, you're going to die." Long Fei frowned. He looked up at the sky, his lips curled up as he said with a smile, "The one who's going to die is probably you." Chapter 2620. Unlocking the Black Dragon's Memory. Chapter 2620. Unlocking the Black Dragon's memory. The Black Dragon charged down vertically. It was like a black bolt of lightning. It was so fast that the naked eye could not see clearly. Because his body was so huge, he didn't even know who he was going to deal with. Was it Long Fei? Or was it Zhao Haoyan himself? So noisy. Shut up. The Black Dragon roared, its voice shaking the heavens. At this moment, Zhao Haoyan was startled, his eyes glazed over. No, impossible, it can't be. He was half buried in the ground, and if he wasn't, he would have pissed in fright by now. His entire body trembled. His face was incomparably pale. He slowly raised his eyes and looked at the sky. He was so scared that his eyeballs opened wide and magnified. He roared as if his eyes were about to burst out. No. Rumble. The black flame landed on the ground. The Black Dragon opened its mouth wide and bit at Zhao Haoyan's head. Gotcha! The head was fractured. The half of his body that was buried on the ground began to bleed crazily. The head was like sugar beans that were crushed into powder within the Black Dragon's mouth. It swallowed abruptly. The entire audience went crazy. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. At that moment, everyone thought that Long Fei would die and that he would be devoured by the Black Dragon, but no one had expected this. Even the Sky Envoy did not expect the Black Dragon to suddenly attack Zhao Haoyan. He directly bit off the head. Shock. It was an incomparable shock. At this moment, everyone's mind felt like it was about to explode, and they were all trembling. Zhao family's personal guards, 10 families as people, Zhou family. All of them were completely shaken. Yirong, who was inside the boundary, was even more shocked, senseless. Xianming Master was almost shaken to the point where he suffered internal injuries, and blood almost spurted out. That kind of sudden rush where he suddenly bit off his head happened right under his nose. The visual impact was too great, so strong that even the Xianming Master was trembling. He was unable to recover for a long time. Long Fei was slightly stunned. He was now even more certain that this Black Dragon was related to him. Otherwise, in that instant, the one who died was him. Dragon, Could it be my previous life was a dragon? Is my seal's memories from the dragon race? Right. Dragon Abyss Dungeon. Long Zhanting. The person who ruthlessly attacked Long Zhanting was Long Wutian. Could it be that all of my memories of the seal came from the Universal Realms dragon race? At this moment, Long Fei's brain was also in pain. Long Fei held his head with both hands, and the pain caused his heart to tighten. The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. At the same time, a system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhao Haoyan for gaining 100 million experience, 100 million true chi points, and 100 arrogant god energy value points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining flipping cloud palm. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining soul-splitting armor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Black Dragon Pillar seal. A series of notifications exploded in his mind. It was also because of this that Long Fei's headache was slightly relieved. One item after another appeared in the system dimension. When the last Black Dragon Mountain Dragon's pillar exploded, Long Fei's heart sank. Black Dragon Stone Pillar? Instantly, Long Fei immediately checked the properties. Item, Black Dragon Stone Pillar, sealed, grade, none attribute, none description. The place where the Black Dragon soul is attached. Description 2. Inside the seal. In the seal, Long Fei's gaze tensed up. In the game, many equipment had Seal S, so there was only one way to know its full strength, and that was to unlock the seal. But there were tools to unlock Seal S in the game, but Long Fei didn't have such tools on hand right now. Moreover, when Long Fei was looking over these things, the Black Dragon once again rammed into the boundary, as if going berserk. It did not care about its life and death at all. It was too painful. He didn't even know who he was. This kind of pain was indescribable pain for a dragon. Long Fei wanted to ease the Black Dragon's pain, wanted to understand the reason behind all of this, but he didn't know what to do. Suddenly, another notification rang out. Ding! System notification. You can use your health point to convert the power of your unsealing skill. F***CK. System. Why didn't you say so earlier? Long Fei did not even think about it, and immediately said, I want to exchange for the power to lift the seal. Ding! System notification. 100,000 health point going once, and cannot be recovered within a set period of time. Hurry up, I have no time. If this continued, the Black Dragon would truly die. Long Fei was unable to unlock the Seal S in his own memories, but he wanted to release the Black Dragon, or at least alleviate its pain. Ding! System notification. The right to exchange for a seal was successful. His health point instantly decreased. Health point meant that Long Fei's life, suddenly decreasing the health point of the other party. Long Fei's body sank violently, as if he had drawn a lot of blood in that instant. His internal organs were in turmoil. It was just as the system had said. The recovered health point of the Spring of Life was simply unable to stack on top of each other, making it impossible to recover at all. Long Fei did not bother about him. Directly use it on the Black Dragon Steel. Ding! System notification. Imprinting failed. Long Fei frowned. Exchange again. It was as if his 100,000 points and health point had disappeared from Long Fei's bloodstream. Poochie. Long Fei tried his best to hold it in as blood leaked out from the corner of his mouth. Ding! System notification. Imprinting failed. F***CK. Again. Long Fei did not stay and exchanged again. Ding! Unseal failure. Again. Unseal failure. Long Fei only had a little more than 800,000 points of health point for him to continuously exchange. In the end, there was only a little over 100,000 health point left, but the seal on the Black Dragon Pillar had yet to be unlocked. Looking at the last 100,000 health point, Long Fei continued to persevere. He had to alleviate the Black Dragon's pain. He had to figure out the Black Dragon's identity, because he just said that they were brothers. Again. Ding! Exchange successful. Phew! Huff! Long Fei panted heavily. At the moment, his face was pale and his entire chest was covered in blood. Long Fei said heavily, "System, this will be the last time. If you don't succeed, you can just ***king kill me." Long Fei no longer had any extra health point left to exchange for the power to unseal. He only had around 10,000 health point left. Furthermore, he would not be able to recover within a short period of time. He was currently on the verge of death. Zhao Haoqian was dead, but there was still a Xianming master. Even so, Long Fei did not hesitate and gently exhaled, "Come." Ding! System notification. Unprinting successful. And it was also at this moment that the frenzied black dragon suddenly stopped in its tracks and turned around to look at Long Fei. Chapter 26-21 Boss. Chapter 26-21 Boss. It's finally been solved. In that moment, Long Fei exhaled a long breath and cursed in his heart, "If you don't succeed, then I'll die for you to see." He almost lost his life. The setting of the health point exchange for the power to remove seals was too ***king ridiculous. Moreover, wasn't it a 100% success rate? A health point of 800,000, which could not be recovered in a short period of time. There was no doubt that Long Fei was going to use his life to unravel the memory seal for the Black Dragon. How much could he solve? Long Fei wasn't sure either. Just then, the Black Dragon suddenly stopped its attack and turned around to look at Long Fei. At this moment, Long Fei's gaze tensed up. This was because the Black Dragon's eyes burned with passion. He's about to make his move. That dragon is going to attack. The way the Black Dragon looks at him is different now. I reckon that Brat will be bitten to death, like Zhao Haoqian. Haha, Brat, it's your turn now, right? The sudden transformation of the Black Dragon shocked many people, and the disciples of the four great families immediately clamored. They all wished for Long Fei to die quickly. Eorong's eyes also tensed up. The Xianming master started laughing excitedly. "Seems like I don't even need to do anything to get first place for those gods' sect gathering. This was picked up for free. Haha, I am the final winner." Xianming master became proud. "Eorong, this brat will be eaten soon. Huh? Is it hard to watch your beloved die? I told you before, this kid isn't worthy of you at all. He's simply..." While talking, the Xianming master stopped. Because the black flames that covered the sky suddenly contracted, and the gigantic black dragon fell from the sky. Xianming master's eyes lit up. "Die, kid." Sky Envoy's eyes also tightened, staring straight at Long Fei. Many people began to laugh. "Go to hell. Arrogant to the point. Ha! Acting tough. Continue acting tough." Many of them stood up and looked at the boundary, their eyes unblinking. The black dragon rolled. His aura was several times stronger than before. Under such strength, no one could stop him. Everyone believed that Long Fei would die. However, Long Fei stood where he was without moving, very calm and unhurried. There was not a single ripple in his eyes, nor was there any fluctuation. He was completely unafraid because of the black dragon's strike. Scared silly? Suddenly, the corner of Long Fei's mouth raised slightly. He laughed. He smiled. "You're scared silly, and you're still laughing?" He can still laugh at a time like this. I can't help but admire him. "Brat, it's the time of your death." Rumble, rumble, rumble. As the black dragon descended, dust billowed and the entire boundary trembled. Dust enveloped the entire boundary and did not disperse for a long time. "Is he dead? Is that kid dead? It must have been eaten, right? I can't see it clearly. What happened inside?" No one, not even the Sky Envoy, knew what was happening inside the dust. Only Long Fei knew. The moment the black dragon smashed down, a strong wind raged. Long Fei's long hair flew horizontally in the air, and his clothes made sounds, but he still did not move an inch. And at that instant, Long Fei's pupils suddenly tightened. His mind trembled slightly. After half a minute, the black flames moved and dust was blown off. Everyone in Boundary also became clear as they craned their necks to take a look. He only saw a dragon kneeling in front of Long Fei. His eyes were filled with respect. It was full of yearning. At the same time, hot tears welled up in his eyes. Everyone was stunned. What had happened? What had happened? A dragon kneeling to a person? Was this a brain-dead dragon? Or had he gone mad? At this moment, everyone's minds couldn't wrap their heads around this matter. They were all frozen on the spot with stupefied expressions. What happened next shocked them even more. The black dragon let out a heavy roar. It was like a child that had been abandoned, screaming out in a heart-wrenching voice. "Boss!" His voice was like thunder, resounding through the skies above the capital. Ripples of light shot out from the boundary S. Rings after rings of light surged up like the waves of the ocean. In the sky, "Boss, boss, boss." His voice echoed out, kneeling and calling him boss. Furthermore, the boss voice sounded excited, but at the same time, it made people's hearts ache for him. Long Fei was dumbfounded. He thought about how the black dragon had some relationship with him, and thought about how they were brothers that had fought together, but he absolutely did not expect that he was actually the big boss of the black dragon. Black dragon, the head of dragon. There was a door as wind here. Long Fei's first reaction was to see the scene that just appeared in his mind. The image of himself standing on the black dragon head and roaming in the sky. His heart skipped a beat. Damn, isn't this too eye-catching? Long Fei trembled slightly. His eyes seemed to have recovered a little as he said, "Boss? You call me boss?" The black dragon's expression changed slightly as he said, "Boss, could it be that your memories were also sealed by the seal?" As expected, Long Fei was shocked in his heart and said in the same way, I don't know." The black dragon looked to the sky and said solemnly, "It's all God's tribe's fault, all God's tribes. No, it's all because of Long Wutian, that dog of a slave, the scum of the dragon race. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been suppressed. 14th dragon ancestor would also not be trampled by God's tribe in the midst of Wash Sky Pool. Long Wutian." The black dragon let out a furious roar. He was utterly enraged. The Long Fei he spoke of didn't understand a single thing. Seeing the black dragon become so angry, Long Fei said to himself in his heart, "How big of an enmity is this? How much hatred is there?" Long Fei asked, "Who is Long Wutian? And who am I? Have I ever appeared somewhere before?" Since the black dragon knew about him, then his memories would have been opened in a different way. His memories would also always be a matter that troubled Long Fei. The black dragon looked at Long Fei and said, "Boss, it seems like you are of a higher level than our seal of memories. This damnable God's tribe. Boss, your name is Long Fei. You are a Yuan Long, and also a dragon that broke through the universal realm and entered the God's martial continent. Your father is Long Zhanting, and your mother is Muron Wan. In the God's martial continent, you are the strongest and the strongest. You have stomped over 100,000 planes, and you nearly killed your way through the 10 stages of guillotine. When the Emperor Xian attacked, and you were suppressed, everyone thought that you had died, but our 14 Dragon Clan had never thought of it like this. Ha ha, ha, now you finally reappeared. Boss, let's do it again in the entire universal realm." Excited. He couldn't control it at all. No one knew how excited the black dragon was right now, nor did anyone know about the anger and resentment that had been accumulating in his heart for the past 100 years. It was time to go all out. Chapter 26-22. Holding back your strength. Kill this little sky-patrolling bitch. Chapter 26-22. Holding back your strength. Kill this little sky-patrolling bitch. Excited, blood boiling. Right now, the black dragon wanted to charge into the universal realm, kill its way into the God's tribe, flip over the entire Emperor Xian, and stomp Long Wutian beneath its feet. However, regarding what he had said, Long Fei did not have the slightest impression of it. Was it his own memories? Long Fei didn't know. He was currently in great pain, so why couldn't he remember the black dragon's words? Where's the God's martial continent? Where's the chaos realm? What kind of place was the guillotine? Who is the Emperor Xian? Is Long Zhanting the man who locked up the 18-dragon lock chain of the Dragon Abyss's black dragon? Who was Muron Wan? Mother? Why? Why was there no impression at all in his mind? Why didn't even his own father and mother know who he was? Long Fei was in great pain, his heart shouting, "The memories of the seal." The black dragon said heavily, "Boss, it's been 100 years. The 14 dragon ancestor is no longer the kind of power from the lower plains, and we believe that you will definitely be able to turn God's tribe upside down this time." His eyes were blazing. It was incomparably hot. It was as if Long Fei was the heavens. It was also at this time. The sky envoy's expression was overcast as he said, with just a single sentence, "You dare to overturn the God's tribe? With just a single sentence, you, a sinful dragon who doesn't even have any physical body, to be so arrogant? You're courting death." Sky Envoy was secretly angry. The black dragon raised its head and stared at Sky Envoy. It snorted coldly. "God's tribe's dogs dare to bark in front of me? The one seeking death is you, right?" As soon as he finished, boom, the black dragon's body suddenly moved, its enormous body once again flying into the air. Its face was extremely ferocious, and its eyes darkened. His body rolled over. Schwa! He quickly charged forward and heavily crashed into the wall. Rumble! He heavily smashed into the boundary, causing the boundary to rapidly shake and a small crack to appear. Now that the seal of the black dragon's memories had been unlocked and his strength completely released, he was far more powerful than the black dragon from before. The entire audience was stunned. The space between Sky Envoy's eyebrows tightened. At this moment, the greed in his heart was retracted because he now knew Long Fei's identity. Although he did not know what had happened 100 years ago, nor did he know who Long Fei was. But he knew who Long Zhanting was, who was Moron. He knew even more who the Emperor Xian was. There was no doubt that Long Fei was enemies with the God's tribe. Just this one rule alone, Long Fei had to die. Seeing the boundary producing a crack, the center of Sky Envoy's brows twitched slightly. To us God's tribe, if you are a dragon, then you are a dragon. If you're not a dragon, then you are a worm. You want to break through my boundary? You're still not enough. In that instant, the power on Sky Envoy's body suddenly moved. Buzz! A ray of divine light soared into the sky, enveloping boundary almost instantly, just like an extra shield on boundary. This shield was the same as the one that was placed on Zhao Wuji yesterday. Invincible defense. Rumble! The black dragon collided once more. Indeed, boundary did not move an inch. Sky Envoy laughed coldly. "You're only a tool for God's tribe. You think you can flip the sky? With just you two? You overestimate yourself." At this moment, a divine light once again surged out from Sky Envoy's body. The beam of light shot into the sky, suddenly bombarding down from the sky, heavily smashing on a boundary. Next, numerous powerful energies within the boundary began to frantically devour each other. Long Fei's gaze darkened as he stared at Sky Envoy and thought in his heart, Damn, the name has turned red. It has become a boss that can take the initiative to attack. It had changed too quickly. Sky Envoy, the big boss, had already started attacking. On the other side, Yurong hid to the side. The Xianming master was ecstatic in his heart. "I never thought that this kid would actually offend the God's tribe. Then even if he had 10,000 lives, he wouldn't be able to escape death today. And I, who will become an envoy and take over the universal realm, haha," Yurong said. "Ming clan and God tribe have a blood feud. Now there's someone who can contend against God's tribe. Master, you still have to rush to the decision. Someone who can fight against God's tribe? Who? His mother? Ha! Xianming master immediately laughed out loud and said, "Oh, yes. I've always said that there's a problem with your judgment. Your problem isn't as serious as it should be. A trash like that dares to fight against the God's tribe? What can he contend against? He's going to die soon. Are we going to fight? Are we going to fight as ghosts? Yurong, don't be silly. Ming clan is already a thing of the past. I have been searching for powerhouse all this while just for the sake of obtaining Ming clan's ancient inheritance. That was just what I thought when I was young. The rise of the Ming clan? They won't be able to rise again after another 100 million years. Fight against the God's tribe? A dead end. Xianming Master said very straightforwardly. There was only one thing she wanted: longevity. As long as she could break through the Zhenwu continent, as long as she could enter the universal realm, her lifespan would increase by many years, and she would be able to live. There was nothing more important in this world than surviving. Only by living would there be hope. Even if he had to struggle to the last breath and be the accomplice of a tiger, even if someone stepped on him, it was fine as long as he was alive. Xianming Master was too afraid of death. If he died, there would be nothing left. Yurong laughed coldly. Haha. Xianming Master asked, "What are you laughing about? What qualifications do you have to laugh?" Yurong said, "I feel sorry for you, and I feel that your words are laughable. You are not worthy of being the descendant of the Ming clan. Ming clan controls the dark world. They control life and death. And you are as afraid of death as a dog." As soon as he finished, Xianming Master heavily shouted, "Impudent!" Boom! Yurong's body sank down and suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Xianming Master said, "If you can't even control your own life, what right do you have to talk about others? Just watch. Wait until I take first place. I will definitely gift you to that old eunuch Zhao Chongshan. I will let you know what it means to feel despair." Xianming Master was furious. Yurong did not speak and only looked at Long Fei. At this moment, Long Fei looked at the black dragon. The black dragon's body coiled around, wrapping Long Fei in the middle of its body to protect Long Fei. At the same time, the black dragon did not charge forward again, but instead quietly stared at the sky envoy. Its eyes darkened, and the black flames on its body slowly contracted, as if it had become impotent. Long Fei asked, "What are you doing? Is there no other way?" "No, boss. I'm holding back my attack. I'm going to smash this little bitch to death with one move." The black dragon spoke in a low voice, its eyes glinting with a cold light. Chapter 26-23 Black Dragon Ancestors Physical Body Breakthrough. Chapter 26-23 Black Dragon Ancestors Physical Body Breakthrough. I'm holding back my attack. I want to kill this little bitch. The black dragon had a calm expression. His eyes stared straight at Sky Envoy, his eyes filled with killing intent. Savage. Cold. His expression was like that of a man slowly gathering his strength, channeling his strength, and then punching out with his fist. The black dragon had this kind of expression. Hold back your attacks and kill him. Long Fei's mind trembled and was overwhelmed with shock as he thought to himself, "Damn, aren't you acting a little too arrogantly?" This was the array boundary that was released by the Sky Envoy. Its defense, its strength. The black dragon had just crashed into it so many times, yet it hadn't been able to react at all. Clearly, the black dragon wasn't a match for him. Moreover, he was just a dragon soul, without even a physical body. One must know that the most powerful thing about dragons was their physical bodies, which could not even break the Sky Envoy's release. The key thing was that his target was not the boundary, but the Sky Envoy in the Sky Harmony Palace. Long Fei expressed his disbelief. At the same time, he was also looking forward to it in his heart. What kind of big move is this? Sky Envoy's HP. At least 1 billion points, right? Killing technique? Long Fei was slightly shocked. Then that would really be too cool. Boom, boom, boom. The strong devouring power was frantically being absorbed from the boundary, causing the boundary to become a gigantic killing array. If not for the protection of the black dragon, Long Fei would have died by now. Even after using health point to exchange for the power of unsealing, Long Fei was still unable to recover his health point. He only had a little more than 10,000 points of health point right now, and was unable to withstand the devouring power of the boundary. Moreover, his gaze was fixated on Yurong, who was in the corner. She was like a hidden cheetah that could attack at any time. Other than that, Long Fei was also worried for himself. This was her body, and the Xianming Master could pull it out at any time, yet Yurong was inside the boundary himself, so the devouring power could possibly harm her. Long Fei slightly said. How much longer do I have to wait? The black dragon said with a serious face, a little more time. Long Fei looked at Eorong, and his fists secretly tightened. There was nothing he could do now. He could only wait. At this moment, in another world, in the God's Tribe Palace, the wash sky pool suddenly rolled. At this moment, a few white-haired elderly men descended and stood by the side of the wash sky pool. These elderly men were all presbyter of God's tribe. The peak of universal realm-s. Seeing the movement of the wash sky pool, an old man frowned. I never thought that there would actually be a dragon breaking through the seal. Do these sinners want to overturn the heavens? Send them to intimidate our God's tribe so that they can repent in the future and not fight against our God's tribe with the breaking through the seal. You ungrateful trash, you should have killed them all back then. All right, stop talking. Let's attack together. Since it's the dragon's soul breaking through the seal, we should summon it back and once again imprison it. This time, he won't be able to charge through. And then, the two elders flew up into the air and stood above the gigantic wash sky pool. The originally calm waters of the pool began to churn. He swung his dragon tail. The black dragon scales flashed with a cold light as it fiercely flipped. Roar! With a roar, a huge monster that was 100,000 meters long surged out of the water. The entire wash sky pool churned up a huge wave that was 30,000 meters long, and rumbling sounds bursted out. The entire shrine trembled slightly. The dragon's roar dominated the sky. The spread was tens of millions of kilometers. Many of the powerhouses who were in closed-door training suddenly opened their eyes. Dragon's roar. Human sovereign island. The human emperor's eyes flashed with light. Dragon among the wash sky pool? Could it be the breaking through the seal? Has anyone entered the shrine? That's not right. Other than the people from the God's tribe, no one else can enter the divine arts. There's only one possibility for the dragon seal to be broken through. The dragon soul seal is undone. It is to enter the lower realms. Then, the human emperor immediately thought of the news the immortal master Lu Yuan had brought back not long ago, his heart becoming excited. Has it started? Is it starting? As expected, he's still alive. Ha! Emperor Xian, you didn't think that even if you personally acted, you still wouldn't be able to kill him. So what if you control millions of ancient inheritances? No matter how much power ancient inheritance you get, it won't be as strong as the first ancient inheritance, because the first ancient inheritance represents the ancient world. Ha ha. Emperor Xian, God tribe, your good days are coming to an end. With a body as sturdy as a mountain, the aura on the human emperor's body violently shook. Then, the immortal master Lu Yuan flew down. Master, what orders do you have? The human emperor said excitedly. We should also make some preparations. We must not fail again this time. We must welcome him the moment he enters the universal realm, and definitely cannot let him fall into the hands of the God's tribe. After all, no matter how strong a lower realm powerhouse was, they would still be the lowest level of existence in the upper realm. He needed to train in the upper realms in order to be able to unleash the hidden strength within his body. The human emperor blamed himself in his heart for his previous extradition failure. He thought that Tang Renjia alone was enough. However, extradition failed, and the disciple perished in the lower realms. This time, he must succeed in his extradition. The immortal master Lu Yuan was shocked and immediately replied, Disciple obeys. The human emperor was about to make his move. After so many years had passed, he once again took action. This time, he would personally take action, and he had to succeed. Inside the black dragon of Dragon's Abyss, Long Zhanting also suddenly raised his eyes, a sharp light flashing in his eyes. Dragon roar. It's been 100 years, but this is the first time I've heard a dragon roar. Ha! Long Wutian, Emperor Xian, you can't suppress this at all. In the darkness, Long Zhanting burst out in wild laughter. In the air above the wash sky pool, the two white-haired elders frowned. Bastard, are you trying to overturn the heavens? I want to turn the sky upside down. What can you little bitches from God's tribe do? Boom! He raised his dragon head and suddenly rose from the washed sky pool. His entire body was pitch black, his dragon whiskers fluttering in the wind. Beneath the washed sky pool, there were also 13 dragon ancestral saints lying in the deep waters. It was a colossus. Humph! With just you. A white-haired elder's eyes turned sinister as he revealed a look of disdain. Black dragon ancestor flipped it open. The waves within the washed sky pool surged. The black dragon ancestor said arrogantly, "With just this one." As soon as he finished, black dragon ancestor's body fiercely charged forward, straight into the sky. Long Fei had appeared. He wanted to go to Long Fei's side now. He wanted to protect him as though he was in God's martial continent. Moreover, his current physical body had to merge with the dragon soul as well. Otherwise, his strength would not be able to return to its peak. 100 years. A whole 100 years. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Roar! Another dragon roar exploded. Black dragon ancestor flew into the sky. At this moment, the sky darkened and an incomparably large palm came slamming down. Chapter 26-24, Emperor Xian suppressing with a palm strike. Chapter 26-24, Emperor Xian suppressing with a palm strike. Rumble, 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 bang, 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 bang. The sky exploded as the giant palm covered the entire sky. Black dragon ancestor's body was huge enough. How big was 100,000 meters? But under that palm, he was like a small caterpillar. Black dragon ancestor's eyes darkened as he roared. Ah! The massive dragon aura instantly burned, covering 1,000,000-kilometer black flames filled the sky. With a wave of the dragon head, millions of km of black flames rushed towards the huge palm. He was incomparably arrogant. He just didn't submit. That's it. However, the speed at which the giant palm was descending suddenly increased. The thick palm directly ignited due to the friction with the air, forming a flaming palm. A huge amount of God's tribe power surged down like crazy. Buzz! The power of the ancient inheritance gushed out. The strength of his palm was even more ferocious. In a short moment, the two forces collided. Bam! With a dull thud, the black flames instantly extinguished and the black dragon ancestor was smashed into the ground like a small worm, falling into the washed sky pool S. Rumble, rumble. The washed sky pool's water splashed into the sky, and the black dragon's entire body was covered in blood. The scales on his body were completely burned away by the ancient inheritance's power, and the moment his body touched the water from the washed sky pool's body, it became even more painful. It wasn't the pain of rubbing salt into a wound. It was also a wound soaked in sulfuric acid. His entire body was covered in white smoke as he floated on the surface of the water. Black blood spewed out of his mouth as he panted heavily. He stared at the sky and said, "Kill me if you dare. Come on, kill me. If you don't kill me this time, next time, I'll destroy your entire family." The black dragon was very unwilling. He was just a little bit away from escaping. But in that palm, just now, he knew that he was no match for the power of the ancient inheritance. Not to mention, this power came from the hands of the Emperor Xian. Then he would be even less of an opponent. Emperor Xian could have killed him with a single palm just now, but he did not. To be alive like this and be watched by the God's tribe like a dog, to be able to intimidate the black dragon in all four directions, it would be better for them to just die. The hatred in his heart for Long Wutian was deep in his bones. If Long Wutian had not betrayed them, they would not have been reduced to this state, and the dragon race would not have become like this. 100 years, the dragon race couldn't even raise their heads. Not a single dragon roar was produced. It was because the God's tribe had ruthlessly stepped on his head. The giant palm disappeared. Emperor Xian's voice did not appear in the sky, but instead said coldly, "If I don't kill you, then I will keep you alive to continue being a dog for my God's tribe. Next time, even if you use the breaking through the seal, you won't be able to do anything, because this is the shrine, and I am the God. I am the heaven, and you cannot get over me." As soon as he finished, a magic tool descended from the sky, floating above the wash sky pool. Immediately, the magic tool became a blur, interweaving into a net that directly covered the wash sky pool and then slowly pressed down. The moment the net touched the black dragon ancestor, the appearance of the golden net line nearly made black dragon ancestor's eyeballs pop out of their sockets. However, he did not make a sound, and his body was pressed down by the net line as well. His body once again sank into the bottom of the wash sky pool. Black dragon ancestor's memories slowly started working on the seal again. This time, the imprint on his soul was the Emperor Xian, the highest level of power of the seal. "Too strong," Black dragon ancestor roared. "Kill me if you dare. Emperor Xian, if you're a man, kill me. Come kill me." Emperor Xian said coldly. "Killing you is not going to be fun for you. How do you feel about going through so much torture every day? If you step your 14th dragon ancestor into the wash sky pool for generations, don't even think about raising your head. You will always be my watch for my god tribe." "Ha ha! What about the dragon clan? So what if you're the first race in ancient world? He's just an animal in front of me." "Ha ha! Ha ha!" Emperor Xian laughed coldly. Boom! Black dragon ancestor was tightly pressed under the wash sky pool. No matter how he struggled, it was useless, and his memories even started to become blurry. Too strong. Emperor Xian is too strong. Just him alone has the power of 1,800 ancient inheritances. Even if boss is to return, I'm afraid. Yes, you can't come back. As for the honor of the dragon race, let his mother do as she pleases. Black dragon ancestor was too strong. The moment Long Fei entered the universal realm, he would be killed by the Emperor Xian. Furthermore, the first inheritance that was born in the ancient world would be snatched away by the Emperor Xian. This way, the god tribe would be even more fearless. The universal realm, the ancient world, will forever be in the control of the Emperor Xian. Thinking of this, the black dragon ancestor idea suddenly exploded. "We can't let boss come back. We absolutely can't." Then, his idea turned into the dragon soul. It was also at this time, Emperor Xian's unhappy voice rang out. What happened in the lower realms? Why can he use the breaking through the seal? Everyone, including the white-haired elders, fell to their knees. An elder said, "The most eastern Jinwu continent of the Black Dragon seal ought to have had people break the Dragon Soul seal. However, for Sky Envoy S have already left. The first Sky Envoy should be here already. The other 3 should be arriving soon as well." The Emperor Xian's tone slightly changed as he said, "I don't want something like that to happen again, and I even more so hope that nothing bad will happen to the guillotine. If anyone dares to rebel against the God's tribe, then kill them all." His voice was like thunder. All the elders immediately replied, "As you wish." A company of 9 clans was already a terrifying existence. However, the entire plain, this, too terrifying. The Emperor Xian disappeared. Immediately, the few white-haired elders discussed and decided to kill off the entire Jinwu continent, waiting for Sky Envoy's return. There is no need for this plane to exist anymore. The Emperor Xian is already angry. He doesn't want the events of 100 years ago to happen again. A mere lower realms cultivator was killed. I'll wait for them to come back. The God's tribe had many powerful weapons. Killing a position was too easy for them. Lower realms, Jinwu continent, within the Imperial Palace. Inside boundary. Uff. The black dragon suddenly spat out a mouthful of black flame. Its body abruptly sank. The aura on his body also suddenly decreased. Suddenly, Long Fei simply did not know what had happened, and could not help but ask, "Did you hold back a big move to cause internal injuries?" The black dragon looked at Long Fei. Suddenly, his eyes turned sinister as he stared at Sky Envoy and roared loudly, "Dragon Soul Shockwave." Advertisement. Advertisement. The black dragon's gaze suddenly became very complicated. Long Fei felt it. However, at this time, the power of the black dragon seemed to have abruptly changed. Long Fei did not think too much about it and said excitedly, "Big move, big move, big move. Black dragon skill. I'm asking you if you're afraid or not." Ha. Long Fei became excited. He stared at the wound on Sky Envoy's head and thought, how much HP? Will I be able to kill him with a single move? What can it drop? This is the most powerful boss in Zhenwu continent. Long Fei was impatient. At this moment, wow, the black dragon spat out another mouthful of black flames. To the black dragon, what it spat out was blood. Long Fei's expression tightened and said, "Old Black, what's wrong?" The black dragon said solemnly, "I'm fine." With a fierce roar, the dragon's roar was berserk as the black flames on his body condensed crazily. In his mind, the power of the dragon soul was being released to the maximum extent. Moreover, he didn't hold back at all. In this case, the dragon soul would split open. He would die. However, the black dragon did not hesitate. Sky Envoy had heard all of his words just now. If everything that happened here were to spread to the God's tribe, then Long Fei was inevitably in great danger. Absolutely not. His body was almost destroyed. The Emperor Xian was too strong. The power of 1,800 ancient inheritances was too strong. No one was a match for the Emperor Xian. Even Long Fei could not. He didn't care about revenge anymore. All he wanted now was for his boss to continue living. Rumble. Another roar. The black dragon's body seemed to be sucked dry as all of its strength poured into its head. He's gone mad. He's gone mad. The dragon is going berserk. What should we do? Heavens! Will he break through the boundary? Everyone quickly retreated and did not dare to approach the boundary, nor did they dare to mock Long Fei. At this moment, the most awkward one was the Xianming master. She was completely stupefied. The power released from the black dragon's body was too strong. She was not its match at all. He was still thinking of using the black dragon to crush Long Fei, but the black dragon's kneeling, the words "eldest," instantly shattered all of her fantasies. At this time, if the black dragon still wanted to talk about the Sky Envoy killing everyone, then wouldn't this world have been stepped on by Long Fei? Who else in the Zhenwu continent could be his opponent? At this moment, Xianming Master felt a tinge of regret in his heart. If she had not treated Long Fei that way back then, if she had been with the Yurong the same way, at this moment, the Long Fei who Xianming Master hated even more in his heart, I should have killed him on the spot. Yurong laughed and said, "What a pity." Xianming Master coldly snorted and said, "Don't be complacent. My Xianming Master has never held back in his actions. Back then, because of you, I gave him some leeway, and in my opinion, he was just a trash that wanted talent and no talent, and wanted blood vein and no blood vein. However, I never expected that he would become so powerful that he could control the black dragon." Yurong did not care and said, "I will die, and you will die too. Even if you weren't killed by Long Fei, your lifespan would have almost been used up, and you will slowly die of old age." Xianming Master gnashed his teeth and said, "That might not be true. Ming Clan has already arrived at Zhenwu continent, and might even be in the divine capital. As long as I can find him, he can also help me break through Zhenwu continent, and I can also obtain an even longer lifespan. You want to see me die of old age? Little bitch, you're really vicious." This was her last resort. If he was unable to follow Sky Envoy and enter the Zhenwu continent, if he couldn't cultivate the Emperor's aura, she would be able to find the powerhouse and receive the inheritance of the super force of Ming Clan, after which she would be able to break through the Zhenwu continent and also receive an even longer lifespan. Yurong's gaze tensed up. Ha. You didn't think of that? While you were in closed-door training for so long, the Ming Clan's super force of Ming Clan had appeared several times. He must be in the divine capital. Maybe he was looking for me. Even after obtaining the inheritance of the super force of Ming Clan, I can still live on. Xianming Master was almost going crazy. Yurong said, "You are not worthy of obtaining the super force of Ming Clan." Xianming Master said, "It is up to you to decide whether I am worthy or not. I am a Xianming Master. No one is more qualified than me to obtain the super force of Ming Clan. I will live. I will live forever, huh?" As long as the Black Dragon River boundary was defeated, she would immediately flee. As long as she could control Yi Yurong, she would not dare to move against her. When she finds the Ming Clan and obtains the super force of Ming Clan, she would make Yi Yurong die in front of Long Fei. They even had Ming Clan kill Long Fei. Everything was perfect. Xianming Master was elated. At this moment, the Black Dragon's energy crazily surged, but it was also crazily suppressing it. It was as if he was unceasingly releasing his powers, and there was a type of external force that was frantically pulling out the power from his body. Moreover, his face was pained. Long Fei did not know what happened, but he said, "If you can't hold it in, then forget it. No, there's no time. Boss, there's no time. Next, you must remember every word I say," the Black Dragon said with a serious expression. Long Fei also realized that the problem was serious, but no one attacked the Black Dragon. The devouring energy inside the boundary was simply not enough to harm him. Why was he hurt? Long Fei did not know what had happened in Shrine. He didn't know that the Black Dragon's body was on the verge of destruction. Remember, regardless of what happens, you are not to enter the shrine. No matter what happens, you are not to let others know of your past memories. No matter what happens, you are not to open your own memories of the seal. And no matter what happens, you are not to enter the universal realm. In addition, the most important point, when you know everything, you must remember not to take revenge. Boss, you have to remember my words. You have to, 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 you have to. You are the last thing we want to see. After he finished speaking, the Black Dragon looked at Long Fei with a serious expression. And then, his gaze became exceptionally fierce. He stared at Sky Envoy and roared, "Little bitch, go to hell." It was also in this moment that, wow, another large mouthful of black flame sprayed out, and the aura on his body drastically decreased. Dragon's Soul Shockwave. "Break for me, ding-ling-ling." A clear and melodious voice came out of Long Fei's mind. It was not the voice of a system beep, but the sound of something shattering. At this moment, the dragon soul of the Black Dragon shattered. At this moment, a ball of black flames rolled out. The boundary had shattered. The boundary's shield had shattered. Great Hall, the entire palace hall, was instantly turned to smithereens. On the throne, the Sky Envoy's face was pale white. He was so scared that he rolled down from the throne, rolling and crawling. Chapter 26:26, Blood Remaining. Chapter 26:26, Blood Remaining. He was scared to the point of peeing. The power of the Dragon Soul Shockwave was completely beyond his imagination. It was like pulling apart rotten weeds. Boundary was shattered. The defense shattered. The entire Great Hall was instantly turned into powder. Now, the Black Shock Wave was about to reach Sky Envoy. In that moment, he seemed to see his own death, and fear filled his heart. He trembled all over. His face was pale. The liquid dripped from his crotch. He had never been this scared before. His spiritual sea was about to explode. "No, no, don't kill me, don't kill." Sky Envoy screamed in fear. He did not know how to defend himself, and he could not defend himself at all. He watched as the black flames descended. Sky Envoy's eyes were wide open as he roared, "No!" Boom! Rumble! Rumble! A deafening roar resounded. Sky Envoy kneeled on the ground, the black flames wrapping around him as the powerful energy of the dragon's soul continued to bombard him. At this moment, Long Fei stared deadly at Sky Envoy, his fists clenched tightly, his heart feeling excited. So fierce, so fierce. It's really too fierce. This damage. This is too King crazy. The damage above the Sky Envoy began to float all over the place. 99992212 inch 102223221 122711232. This damage. He couldn't even count it all. It was a heaven-defying sight. The corner of Long Fei's mouth rose, revealing an excited smile. Ha ha! Arrogant? No matter how arrogant he is the Sky Envoy that great? You little bitch, you're going to explode soon, right? Ha ha! The damage of the Black Dragon's powerful technique was too great. This was the power condensed from the essence of his life. It was also the power within the dragon's soul. If it wasn't for the fact that his physical body had been forcefully suppressed, he would have been able to unleash even more power. However, now, his memories became increasingly blurry, and they were slowly being extracted. At the same time, his strength also rapidly decreased, and he was completely unable to block it. No way. A little stronger. The Black Dragon roared. He had to kill the Sky Envoy. Otherwise, Long Fei's situation would become extremely dangerous. Another dragon roar sounded. The Black Dragon's strength increased yet again, and at the same time, it spouted out a huge mouthful of black flames. Pain, incomparable pain, but he knew that he had to endure it and help Long Fei clear the way. Absolutely do not let the people from the God's tribe find out that he is still alive. If Emperor Xian knew Long Fei was still alive, I am afraid he would not allow the God's tribe of the God's tribe to make a move, and he himself would do it himself. No matter how strong the power hidden in Long Fei's body was, he would never be a match for the Emperor Xian. Moreover, the Black Dragon hoped that Long Fei could live on in safety. It was enough to be alive. The black flames became stronger once again, but the dragon soul in the Black Dragon's body shattered into pieces. Its strength was rapidly being extracted, and its body was no longer able to hold on. It was also at this time. His damage was also rapidly decreasing. 231, 2221 inch, 192, 2232, 182, 2121. Dozens of times smaller. Long Fei seemed to have also felt that the Black Dragon's power was disappearing. Furthermore, he could feel the pain on the Black Dragon's body. Rather than exploding Sky Envoy, Long Fei was more concerned about the life of the Black Dragon. His memory recovered. If he called the Black Dragon his boss, then that meant the Black Dragon was his brother. The life of a brother was naturally much more important than killing a boss. Black Dragon shook his head. Boss, I don't have any more time. I don't have time. And I'm not saved either. Haha. The luckiest thing in my life is meeting you. Spending time with Boss is the most exciting moment of my life. My life is more than enough. Ha ha ha. The Black Dragon laughed madly and burst out in an even more unrestrained manner. Even if the damage was decreasing, he still wanted to kill Sky Envoy to the best of his abilities. Long Fei was very agitated in his heart. He was annoyed that his memories were destroyed by the seal, upset that he couldn't think of anything. He was even more agitated. There was nothing he could do now. He could feel that the Black Dragon was consuming his life. That sound of the bell breaking had caused Long Fei to worry for some reason. Long Fei's heart tightened. With a heavy sound, he said, Black Dragon, I won't allow you to die. Since you called me boss, then your life is mine. Now I won't allow you to die. He suddenly felt panic in his heart. He didn't know why. Long Fei was especially worried that the Black Dragon would die. The Black Dragon laughed and said, Boss, I've never lost anything in my life. Meeting you is the most glorious thing in my life. Boss, you must remember what I said. You must not step into the universal realm, and you must not stay in this plane to go to the southern world. Go to the southern world of the universal realm. You're. His memories began to contract crazily. The memories of the Black Dragon had already started to break. He had wanted to say something from one moment to the next, but forgot it the next. Frowning, he fell into a crazed state of contemplation while roaring crazily. Your mother was in the southern world. His memories completely shattered. The Black Dragon was already unable to say anything, and now he used the last of his strength to kill the Sky Envoy as much as possible. Sky Envoy was covered in blood. There were not many blood grooves left on the top of his head. Sky Envoy was extremely scared. The power of the dragon soul shock wave was weakening, crazily weakening. The thick black flame also became thinner. Finally, the damage floating above Sky Envoy's head immediately became a single digit and disappeared in a few seconds. Not dead. There was still a little bit of HP left. Not dead. Sky Envoy kneeled on the ground. His entire body was wounded, blood flowing out from the wound. He didn't even have time to react. At this moment, he thought he was going to die, but he knelt there without moving. It was also at this moment. The black dragon's body, which was being struck by the dragon soul shockwave, also slowly disappeared. He looked at Long Fei and said softly, "Boss, you have to live well." "Definitely. Definitely." Boom! The huge black flame suddenly disappeared. At this moment, in the sky, a crystal-clear piece landed in Long Fei's palm. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Black Dragon's Soul Fragment. Do you want it to grow? Long Fei didn't even think about it and directly replied, "Nurturing." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's heart ached slightly. A drop of pure blood essence floated up and landed on the dragon's soul fragment. Next, the fragment of the dragon's soul emitted a black glow, and a soft dragon cry sounded out from within. At this moment, the black dragon was pulled back from the brink of death. Because of Long Fei's blood essence, possessing incomparable strength, even if the dragon's soul were to shatter, it would still have the power to revive the dead. It was just that Long Fei did not know. It was also at this time that Sky Envoy finally reacted. "Huh? Ha ha! I didn't die, huh?" Chapter 26-27, Final Match. Chapter 26-27, Final Match. The black dragon disappeared. Long Fei took the dragon soul fragment. Originally, if the dragon's soul was shattered, even if the black dragon's body was even more powerful, it wouldn't be able to survive. When he was using the dragon's soul shockwave, he had thought of everything and used his life to pave the way for Long Fei. However, his flesh was severely injured. The power of the spirit weapon that he had obtained from the Wash Sky pool continued to suppress him. He was unable to unleash the power of the dragon soul at all, and his strength plummeted greatly. He was also exerting so much force that the entire dragon soul shattered. For a moment, he thought he was going to die. However, Long Fei's blood essence had pulled him back from the gates of hell. Not only that, amongst the Wash Sky pool, the scales on the previously scorched black dragon ancestor's body began to flicker with streaks of black and gold light, and the scales on his body started to grow. Moreover, at this moment, black dragon ancestor's fleshly body had a breakthrough. It was now infinitely close. Dragon King Realm. However, because the black dragon ancestor's dragon soul had shattered, he was currently in a coma and did not notice the changes to his body. As Long Fei's blood essence continued to grow, he would grow stronger. He would eventually break through to the Dragon Emperor realm. Jinwu continent. Sky Envoy laughed out wildly. "I didn't die, ha ha. I'm not dead. I'm still alive. Ha ha. You want to kill me? A mere God's tribe guard is enough. You think you can kill me? Ha ha." Excited. Sky Envoy was incomparably excited. He never thought that he would still be able to survive. In that situation, he would definitely die. Ha ha! Sky Envoy laughed loudly. The surrounding people also let out heavy sighs of relief. Earlier, they were all standing there like idiots, and their eyeballs were about to pop out from the shock of what just happened. It was too shocking. Similarly, it was too terrifying. This was the first time they had seen a dragon, and also the first time they had seen a dragon's power. At the same time, they knew in their hearts that this was the power of the universal realm. The true power of the powerhouse. Too fierce. F***CK. I'm about to pee. I've already peed. At that moment, I even felt like I was going to die. This is too hard to bear. Why did that dragon disappear in the end? What happened? Isn't that simple? No matter how powerful a dragon is, they would still be trampled under the God's tribe's feet. Didn't you hear it earlier? The dragon race is just a watchdog of the God's tribe. No matter how strong they are, they cannot be a match for the God's tribe. He must have been crushed by Lord Sky Envoy. See, The Sky Envoy is stronger. That's right, but what about the God's Sect gathering? Half of the Imperial Palace is in ruins. Does God's Sect gathering still want to continue? The crowd began to discuss this. Although the power that the Black Dragon had exploded out was too strong, it did not hurt anyone else other than the Sky Envoy, and he was not a homicidal demon either. Furthermore, he knew that he would not let those that he should kill go after Long Fei, and he would not kill innocently. At this moment, the 100 Zhen Wu realm powerhouses who were initially hidden in the shadows walked out and stood quietly at the side, many of them staring at Long Fei. They did not leave. Zhao Haoyan was dead, but what had died was only Zhao Haoyan's flesh. Zhao Chongshan had also only suffered a little injury, and it was not the least bit fundamental of his injuries. Tian. They were only loyal to Zhao Chongshan. If Zhao Chongshan did not die, they would not disperse. Hundreds of Zhen Wu realms. A strong wave of energy was also a large wave of EXP. In another place, the instant the boundary was shattered, Yurong fled out. However, she did not run far. She was also observing what was happening in the Sky Harmony Hall. When she realized that the Black Dragon had disappeared in a moment, she once again stood outside the Great Hall. The corner of Xian Ming Master's mouth curled, revealing a pleased and cold smile. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! I really didn't think of it. I really couldn't figure it out. To think that, unexpectedly, with this dramatic change, the Black Dragon actually disappeared. What else can he do without the Black Dragon? I'm the final winner of this competition, the destined winner. Yurong, do you know what fate means? Ha ha! This is it. I'm not destined to die in Zhen Wu continent. I am destined to break through the shackles. Ha ha! Xian Ming Master was indescribably excited. She had never imagined that the Black Dragon would disappear. Without the Black Dragon, and without the 10-story Devil Tower's summoning, she, with her cultivation of the true martial emperor, could easily crush Long Fei. She was definitely going to win. Yurong looked at Long Fei. Looking at Long Fei, who was trapped in pain, her heart started to hurt faintly. Is it really fated? Is this really my destiny? Is this his destiny? Yurong was unwilling to give up. Extreme indignation. It was also at this time. The Xian Ming Master moved, controlling Yurong to take a step forward. Master, the God's Sect Gatherings competition is not over. Do you want to continue? The entire audience went silent. Everyone was looking at the Sky Envoy. Sky Envoy smiled and walked to the front of the hall steps. He stared at Long Fei and paused for a few seconds before saying, "Compete. Of course we continue. The champion hasn't been decided yet, so why don't we continue?" The Black Dragon's power was simply too great. The crushing pressure it produced was simply too unbearable. Let him know even more that without powerful strength, it would be useless even if you were a descendant of God's tribe. Only when he was strong would he be truly strong. His temperament changed. The Black Dragon made the Sky Envoy very unhappy. Its power, strength. He was filled with an incomparable desire, and the greed in his heart once again surged to the fore. Originally, he only wanted to kill Long Fei, but now, he still wanted to know what kind of power Long Fei still had, and at the same time, wanted to obtain all of his strength. Even if he did not have the power to attack Ancient Inheritance, he still wanted to obtain all of that power from Long Fei. He would not miss any power now. As soon as he finished, Sky Envoy moved his finger. Buzz! Without waiting for Long Fei to react, a halo of boundary descended. The boundary was released once again. It wrapped Long Fei and Yurong within it. The surrounding people were shocked. Boundary is out again. God's Sect gathering will continue. Ha ha! Without the 10-story Devil Tower and the Black Dragon, what is left of the current Long Fei? However, this is an internal conflict within the Xianyu sect. At this moment, Yuan Shan looked at Long Fei, and the space ring that Long Fei had given him continued to be in his grasp. Long Fei shook his head lightly. Yuan Shan tensed up slightly. It wasn't time yet. The boundary descended. Sky Envoy laughed. Let the competition continue. Long Fei slowly turned around to look at Eorong. In that instant, Xianming Master's cold and proud laughter sounded out in his mind. Ha ha! Xianming Master sent a sound transmission with a cold smile. Long Fei, are you admitting defeat after kneeling down? You still want to see your beloved girl die in front of you? Chapter 26-28 Releasing the Most Powerful Power. Chapter 26-28 Releasing the Most Powerful Power. Are you admitting defeat while kneeling? Or is your woman dead? Xianming Master was extremely pleased with himself. This match was a definite victory for her. Moreover, no matter what choice Long Fei made, she would always be the winner. Based on her understanding of Long Fei, he would kneel before her in admitting defeat. All of these efforts were for Eorong. Xianming Master had completely taken care of Long Fei and was extremely pleased with himself, as if he had already seen himself entering Universal Realm with Sky Envoy and become a descendant of God's tribe. Ha! Ha! Xianming Master laughed out loud. Long Fei was very angry in his heart. If he could not vent his anger by dismembering the old granny into thousands of pieces, he would definitely want to transfer over a few million aliens over and then go over her one by one. The rage raged. Long Fei stared at Eorong and said, "Is this really going to happen?" Xianming Master sneered. "Must be this way. Either kneel down and admit defeat, or I'll kill Eorong." Huh? Trash, do you have a choice? You have no choice. Eorong's life is in my hands, and he's your fatal weakness. If you want her to live, then you must listen to me. Kneel now. A loud sound was heard. Long Fei's eyes tensed up, his fists clenched tightly. Originally, the black dragon's death had been filled with a ball of fire in his heart, but now, the anger in his heart was overflowing. He was already on the verge of losing his mind. I really want to give Xianming Master a slap on the face so hard that even her mother can't recognize him. The Sky Envoy also slightly urged them. Hurry up and start. Don't make me so impatient. Otherwise, all of you will die inside the boundary. That's right. Hurry up and start. Why are you still looking at each other? Should we fight? If you don't hit me, then I'm going home. The surrounding people also began to urge him. Xianming Master shouted loudly, "Trash, kneel down." She was afraid that the Sky Envoy would be unhappy. She was even more afraid of Sky Envoy activating the devouring power within the array once again. If not for all of the devouring power being blocked by the Black Dragon earlier, she wouldn't have been able to withstand it. Long Fei did not move. At this time, he had to remain calm. If he were to make a move the moment he does. The one who was injured was Eorong. It couldn't even hurt the old granny. This made him very passive. He didn't know what to do. Xianming Master shouted once again, "I'll make you kneel down. If you don't kneel down now, I'll make your beloved woman suffer some injuries, haha." At the same time, she also said to Eorong, "Eorong, it seems like he doesn't really love you that much. If he really likes you, without waiting for you to say anything, he will immediately kneel down and admit defeat. A man like that doesn't know you're going to love him. Of course, the moment he kneels down and admits defeat, I will directly behead him." Ha! Xianming Master laughed out loud. Eorong did not speak. She was using more strength than ever. The gifted soul of Underworld's power was constantly struggling, and at this time, the wound in her abdomen split open. Poisonous blood gushed out. Xianming Master's eyes were filled with anger. "You still want to resist? You, the little nether phoenix, dare to resist?" Boom! The power of a Xianming Master suddenly exploded. Eorong's body suddenly sank. A mouthful of blood sprayed out. He revealed a pained expression. Xianming Master immediately shouted, "Kid, did you see that? If I want her to live, she will live. If I want her to die, she will die immediately. Now, kneel." She was losing patience, too. Moreover, the Xianming Master was also on fire. She wanted to crush Long Fei, wanted Long Fei to kneel in front of her, and wanted to ruthlessly torture him. Her heart was almost abnormal. Long Fei looked at the pale-faced Eorong and then saw the black blood that was seeping out of his abdomen. His joints cracked. He clenched his teeth and died. Xianming Master felt the rage on Long Fei's body surge up and immediately sneered. If you dare make a move, I guarantee that she will die immediately. Little bastard, kneel before me now. Without waiting for Xianming Master to finish speaking, Long Fei suddenly roared out, kneel before your ancestors. F***CK. Boom! Long Fei's figure suddenly disappeared. It instantly appeared in front of Yurong. Xianming Master's eyes tensed up. She did not expect Long Fei to suddenly attack. If it was her own real face, she would be able to react in an instant. After all, it was Yurong's body. Moreover, the gifted soul of Underworld in Yurong's body continued to resist. His reaction was delayed by half a second. This half second was incredibly fatal. Long Fei appeared in front of Yurong, and the idea moved. Second level, Ghost King. Boom! A ghastly and terrifying power struck out. The Ghost Emperor was summoned. A dense hellish aura was instantly released, occupying the entire boundary. Parasitic spell, open. Boom! Long Fei's body moved. It was not the idea merging into the Ghost Emperor's body, but into his body. Boom! Half human, half ghost. Half was Long Fei himself. The other half was the Ghost Emperor. His appearance was incomparably savage and savage. The two forces perfectly merged together. At this moment, Long Fei's power had already reached the realm of the true martial emperor. Moreover, even so, before it was even over, Long Fei roared again. Arrogant god energy value explode. Boom! 100 arrogant god energy value would then be superimposed onto it. An incomparably arrogant strength exploded forth. At the first level, the power released by arrogant god energy value was not strong, because the power of the basics were too weak. Now that Long Fei was using the Zhenwu realm, if the power of his arrogant god energy value exploded again, that would be too overbearing. Immediately, his body was burning with intense flames. Strength flames. It was incomparably savage. And in this instant, it could be said that Long Fei had brought out his own strength to the peak of his realm. Xianming Master reacted and said with a heavy voice, Little bastard, what are you trying to do? Don't you want her to die? Do you want to see her dead? And with your strength, what can you do? Even so, it was only the power of the Emperor Zhenwu. It was only around the same as the power of the Xianming Master. What could he do? Most importantly, Xianming Master still had a trump card that could restrain Long Fei, Yurong's fleshly body. Long Fei was completely passive. Even if he could crush her, it would be useless. The one who died was Yurong, just like how only Zhao Haoyan's flesh body died. Zhao Chongshan did not die. What can it change? Nothing can change. At this moment, the thick energy crazily released, directly forming a powerful pressure. Rumble. As the pressure fell, it directly crushed Yurong. Xianming Master was startled. Pressure crush? What can you do? Kill her? Killed the woman you loved? Kill, 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 kill. Long Fei ignored him. Breaking open Yurong's mouth, he gently said, Close your eyes. It's going to be okay. It'll be okay in a moment. He took out the refined elixir and put it into Yurong's mouth. The elixir had fused. In the next second, Long Fei's eyes turned sinister like a ghost or god. What can you do? You'll know soon. Chapter 26-29, Dragon Head Wolf Fang Mace. Chapter 26-29, Dragon Head Wolf Fanged Mace. The pressure crushed Yurong, pouring the elixir. This series of actions caused everyone to be stunned. What is he doing? What does he want to do? It seems to be the elixir that he had just started refining. What does it mean? Could it be that it's not an elixir, but a poison pill? You want to poison her? None of them understood. Even the Xianming Master himself wasn't clear on this. He coldly sneered, If you want to save Yurong, then kneel down and admit defeat if you want her to be alive. Otherwise, her body will fall apart in front of you. Ha ha ha. Fight with me. You're not a match for him at all. The Xianming Master didn't know what Long Fei was doing. Even if the elixir could cure the injuries on Yurong's body, but what's the use? It was still the same. His body was still under his control. Still under his control. There would be no change in the outcome. However, she did not know what a Yurong had swallowed. Other than the elixir, there was also another pill. The God Powder S. The God Powder S. And in regards to all of this, Long Fei did not want a Yurong to feel comfortable breaking through the Xianming master. He only wanted one thing, to guarantee her safety. The medicinal pill entered his body. 2 medicinal pellets instantly fused into Yurong's limbs and bones. And also at this moment, a series of rumbling sounds came from Yurong's body. Boom! The power in his body suddenly exploded. He stepped into the Zhenwu realm in an instant. Boom! Boom! His power was still exploding. The aura on Yurong's body was frantically changing. The space between Xianming Master's eyebrows tightened and said, "You want to raise her strength? Want her to become strong enough to escape my restraints? Humph! Brat, I think you're thinking too much." Long Fei grinned coldly and said, "You're wrong. I don't want her to break free from your restraints. I just want her to have enough strength to protect herself." Because, in that instant, Long Fei's consciousness moved. Wong. Idea shot out like a pillar. In that instant, it charged from the sky straight into the center of Yurong's brows, directly entering his body, and immediately roared out, "Old witch, come and die." Rumble, rumble, rumble. Explosions unceasingly sounded out from within Yurong's body. Just like the Xianming master, Long Fei's idea entered Yurong's body. This was his goal. Xianming master's eyes tensed up. She never thought that Long Fei would actually rush into Yurong's body, turning Yurong's body into a battlefield. It was beyond her expectations. However, the Xianming master sneered sinisterly. "There's a path to heaven that you must take. Hell has no doors, yet you come in here and kneel down and admit defeat. Then I will let you die without any pain yet you chose to barge into this place. You're courting death, not waiting for her to finish." Long Fei immediately found her position. A surge of power surged out. Yi Zichen slapped him heavily. At this moment, the Ghost Emperor's power erupted. The energy of a mad god exploded. The parasitic power exploded out. The anger in Long Fei's heart also exploded. Several streams of energy gathered together and were released. This slap was so brutal that it was a complete mess. Xianming Master tensed up. "Huh!" The slap sounded like muffled thunder. The illusion of the Xianming Master was slapped by Long Fei onto the ground. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. His hair was in a mess, and his eyeballs were about to pop out. "Little bastard, I want to—" He was enraged to the extreme. Xianming Master had never been humiliated like this before. Not even when it was her idea. Anger exploded. However, without waiting for her to stand up, the figure of Long Fei's idea leapt high into the air, and its body sank deep into the ground. Strength of 10,000 tons. Squat down. His butt moved and smashed down heavily. It directly landed on Xianming Master's head. Rumble. Puff. Xianming Master spat out a mouthful of blood. His head was about to explode from Long Fei's kick. His eyes revealed a sinister look, and his pupils were filled with blood as he said in a heavy voice, "I want to kill. Kill your sister." Suyun's body flipped and landed on Xianming Master's body. He did not wait for her to finish speaking and slapped him. "Pa!" The face of the Xianming Master simulacrum cracked from the slap. Half Ghost Emperor. Long Fei, who was in half berserk state. The Ghost Emperor slapped him. Long Fei slapped him. A brutal comparison of strength. Emperor Xian was fanned to the point of death. All the strength in his body was completely suppressed by Long Fei. This was also because Long Fei had crushed him in the first strike. Taking advantage of his illness, Long Fei was the best at taking his life. Come on, damned old demoness. I, your father, will fuck your ancestors for 18 generations. Long Fei was enraged. He was so angry that he swore more than once that he would kill her. Although it was just a shadow, and he did not know where the Xianming Masteress were, however, even if it was just a hair on the head of the Xianming Master, Long Fei couldn't help but want to beat the crap out of him. Now seize the opportunity. Long Fei used all of his strength. It was a fierce explosion. He was venting his anger. You dare touch my woman? F***CK. How could there be a master like you in this world? You want me to kneel? Come on, old witch. Who's going to kneel down for who now? Long Fei was so angry that he could not rest. He roared hysterically and was about to collapse if he did not vent this anger out. From a moment he saw Yorong's cold gaze. The anger in his heart had been constantly squeezed. Now, he finally found a chance. Xianming Master couldn't even say a word, could only be ruthlessly crushed by Long Fei. Ding! Exchange successful. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Dragon Head Wolf Teeth Rod. The idea moved. A giant mace appeared in Long Fei's hand, and it was a sinister-looking dragon head. Old Granny, provoking this daddy. If I don't teach you a lesson, this daddy here is not Long Fei. Boom! Boom! Both of Long Fei's hands held onto the dragon head wolf-fanged mace as he struck it hard, causing Xianming Master to crawl all over the ground while shrieking incessantly. Long Fei did not kill her either. It was a brutal and merciless punishment. Why are you treating your disciple like a pawn? How can your heart be so sinister? Have you King asked your father to marry a eunuch? It is my woman. Do you understand? Long Fei crazily erupted until he finally smashed the top of Xianming Master's head with his mace. The mace directly pulled him up, chopping firewood. It hacked down heavily. Bam! Xianming Master was lying on the ground. Her entire body was filled with bloody holes. If it was her real body, then she was completely dead. However, even if it was an illusion, Xianming Master was still vomiting blood, his face pale. Long Fei stomped his foot on Xianming Master's head. You King want to continue acting tough for lousy. Chapter 2630, The Three Great Bosses. Chapter 2630, The Three Great Bosses. He was furious. He had never been so angry before. Long Fei kept suppressing the anger in his heart. He wanted to kill Xianming Master more than he ever did before. Even if it was just an illusion, he would use his strongest power to kill it. Not to mention, this wasn't his greatest strength. Just you wait. Right now, it is only your shadow. Don't let me find your real face. Otherwise, I will make your death worse than it is now. Boom! Exerting force with his feet, he directly crushed it. The Xianming Master allowed a ghastly scream as her shadow instantly disappeared, and all her energy disappeared from Yorong's body. The binding vanished. Yorong's body also regained its freedom. Long Fei. Yorong's mind tensed up and immediately shouted out. Long Fei returned to the real face, and the Ghost Emperor's time was over. He smiled lightly and said, I already said, no one can force you to do anything you don't want to. It's fine now. I'm fine. Yorong threw himself into Long Fei's embrace and started to gently sob. Long Fei's body slightly caved in. Yorong thought that Long Fei was injured and immediately asked, What's wrong? Are you hurt? Long Fei said, No, it's just a certain part of you is too big, hitting me so hard my chest hurts. At this moment, Long Fei couldn't help but exclaim once again that Lu Xian had given his daughter a good name. Yorong. Big. It was really big. Being pushed against the chest, that surging feeling, that kind of impact was too fierce. Yorong rolled his eyes at Long Fei, and then he said with a flushed face, Tonight, I'll bump into you on my bed. At night. Bed. Long Fei looked as if he had been injected with chicken blood. He became sinister and said, Then it's not you who's going to hit me, Yorong's face flushed red. The surrounding people, especially the men, were all envious and jealous. Right now, Yorong was risking everything he had. Long Fei was her man, and she didn't hide anything. Even in front of so many people, it was the same. She wanted to be herself, to be a free self, to live for no one but her man. Long Fei's mind was filled with fantasies. All sorts of postures. Wow. Gudon. Long Fei swallowed his saliva heavily. He could not hold it in any longer. However, there were a few people who were extremely unhappy when Long Fei and Yurong were hugging each other. Sky Envoy. Although Long Fei summoned out the Ghost Emperor and was able to unleash the power of his realm to the peak realm, surpassing that of an ordinary powerhouse of the true martial emperor, however, he still did not see the type of power that was hidden on Long Fei's body. He still did not see the power of ancient inheritance that he wanted to see. He was in a bad mood. Also, there were even people who were unhappy. Zhao Chongshan. A loud sound echoed out within the underground palace. A beam of light shot into the sky and, in an instant, landed heavily on the ground, directly landing outside the boundary. Seeing Long Fei carrying Yurong and the two's blissful expressions, it was as if Long Fei had seen the dirtiest thing in the world, which made him furious. Damn dog, she is my woman. If I don't kill you today, then I'm not Zhao Chongshan. The voice was deep. It carried an endless amount of power. The entire great hall shook violently. At this moment, the 100 Zhen Wu Realm S all landed behind Zhao Chongshan, their morale increasing. However, his voice was a bit like a mother's. Long Fei glanced at it, and the corner of his mouth slightly curled. Finally, I see you, old eunuch. Just now, your grandson did not make me feel good. You must make me feel good. At the same time, a shrill and furious roar came from another part of the palace. A streak of light also descended. Boom! The black robe enveloped him, and his body began to emit a black, netherworld power as well as a golden light. Boss! Xianming Master! Smoke rose from the top of Xianming Master's head as her anger surged. Staring at Long Fei, who was inside the boundary, her voice that sounded like the wailing of ghosts came over. Little bastard, I will kill you. He gritted his teeth, enunciated every single word, and every single word was laced with killing intent. It was incomparably savage. The entire audience was slightly startled. Zhao Chongshan suddenly rushed forward. He was Zhen Wu Continent's #1 powerhouse, and also the peak of true martial emperor. Who could block his attacks? Another elderly woman dressed in a black robe was also releasing the power of the Emperor Zhenwu. Suddenly, two such super powerhouse appeared, and they all wanted to kill Long Fei. Why is that? They don't know. But Long Fei was very clear in his heart, and at the same time he smiled, looking at the golden light emitted by their bodies and the bloody grooves on top of their heads. Long Fei laughed excitedly. Seems like all the bosses have been gathered. He was slightly surprised, but it was also within Long Fei's expectations. The power in Zhao Haoyan body was Zhao Chongshan. If Zhao Haoyan died and his chance to escape was ruined, Zhao Chongshan would naturally jump out. He had lured out a boss. Xianming Master was the same. She couldn't help it, even if the power released from her body was the power of Nether. It was easy for people to discover that she was a descendant of the Ming clan, but she didn't care about that. Right now, she wanted to kill Long Fei. It is worth mentioning. The grooves on their heads were half full. Long Fei's attack just now had caused them some damage. Plus, Sky Envoy. He was also at critical HP. However, his remaining HP was more than Zhao Chongshan's total HP. 3 bosses. The top 3 bosses of Zhen Wu Continent. He was also the person Long Fei wanted to kill the most right now. Long Fei became excited. However, Yurong said worriedly, Long Fei, they are all at the Emperor Zhenwu realm. They were only possessing power a moment ago, but now the power of the real face is even stronger than before. Indeed, possessing one's strength, he was unable to unleash too much of it. But the real face was different. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, Don't worry, no matter how strong their real face is, it's useless because I still have my big move. Underworld Fire. Ijin endured it and didn't use it. They had to wait until the most critical moment. Their HP now. If it was just an Underworld Fire, Long Fei could not hold back anymore. A boss drop. 3 bosses, especially that Sky Envoy's big boss. Ha ha. This time, at least you can make me go to heaven, right? Long Fei was incomparably excited in his heart. Taking a step forward, Long Fei said, "You all want to kill this father, right? Open the boundary. Get rid of all of you." He raised his gaze. Long Fei's finger moved, pointing at the sky envoy on the stairs. He sneered, "You too. Arrogant. Arrogant. Too arrogant. 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 Arrogant to the point of being a complete mess." The entire audience calmed down as the temperature dropped drastically. Everyone was looking at Long Fei. The killing intent in Zhao Chongshan's eyes became cold. The killing intent in Xianming Master's eyes also became cold. Sky Envoy squinted. At this moment, killing intent soared to the heavens. Chapter 26:31. The older and the stronger the poison. Chapter 26:31. The older and the stronger the poison. 3 bosses, 2 at half HP and 1 at critical HP. Temptation. It was too tempting. This was even more enticing than a bunch of gorgeous beauties wearing all sorts of uniforms. Gudong. Long Fei swallowed hard. There's only one chance, even if I have to risk my life. I will kill you today. Killing these 3 bosses. Zhenwu continent must have cleared it, right? Haha. Long Fei cannot hold back. He knew that the 3 bosses would not be able to hold it in. Zhao Chongshan wanted to kill him, but Xianming Master hated him to the point that his teeth itched so much that he wanted to kill him as well. Just now, the black dragon had caused him so much embarrassment. In his heart, he probably wanted to kill him even more, right? Long Fei smiled slightly and said, Come do me. Let's see who can kill who." Long Fei was still arrogant. Zhao Chongshan could not help but shout out, "Little bastard, let's see how long you can continue being so arrogant for." Long Fei said, "Damn eunuch, come in and screw me. Come on, come ef ***K. The rage was raging. Zhao Chongshan had lived for several hundred years, but by right, he was already very resolute. But when he saw Long Fei's lowly and arrogant expression, he could not hold back. And then, Zhao Chongshan's gaze turned and said to the Sky Envoy, "Master, let me enter the boundary. I want to kill him." Sky Envoy looked at Long Fei, who was inside the boundary. He had not seen what he wanted to see. Glancing at Zhao Chongshan, he said faintly, "Just nice. Then I'll let you in." Also at the same time, Long Fei lowered his voice and said, "When the great gates of boundary open later, I'll send you out. After that, you don't need to care about anything else, and you can go to the underground palace to meet up with Vajra." Eorong's eyes grew serious, and he asked, "What about you?" Long Fei said, "I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. You just have to leave the palace. Also, you have to be careful of one person, Zhou Yaozong." The million-strong army had already entered the divine capital, and the Zhou family's master, the experts of the Zhou family, were still lurking around. Although they were not as powerful as the Zhao family. Once Zhao Chongshan fell, the Zhou family would take advantage of their power and rise. The sandpiper and clam fight over the prophets. It was very obvious that Zhou Yaozong was comparable to this fisherman. Long Fei's gaze was locked tightly as he placed one hand on Eorong's back. As long as the main door of the boundary opened, he would immediately send Eorong out. However, just as Sky Envoy wanted to open the boundary's door, Xianming Master suddenly jumped out. Stepping forward, he said, "Master, since he cannot leave, why not let him fight with Eorong? Only the one who wins can survive." The most poisonous thing was the woman's heart. The older they were, the more poisonous they became. No matter what, the person inside is his own granddaughter. Did she really wish for her granddaughter to die inside? Zhao Chongshan trembled slightly and immediately said, "This suggestion is not bad. Let them fight inside. Only those who are still alive have the qualifications to come out." Isn't he arrogant? How dare you? Let's see how he can continue acting so arrogantly. Ha ha! Zhao Chongshan laughed out loud. When it comes to love and death, the world's most painful thing is also like this, right? Ha ha! Little bastard, let's see what you can do. Xianming Master had a cold smile on his face. Looking at Long Fei, who was in the middle of boundary, he said disdainfully, Let's see what tricks you can still play. Little bastard. Hey, I hate it. The Xianming master hated Long Fei the most. Kill Long Fei? That would be letting him off too easily. She wanted to ruthlessly ravage Long Fei so that he couldn't beg for life or death. Just now, his idea was too hard to bear from Long Fei using the Dragon Head Wolf Fang Mace. If she did not take revenge, then she was not Xianming master. Sky Envoy also laughed faintly. He looked at Long Fei, who was inside boundary, and asked, "Did you hear it? You two can only live one. Choose for yourselves." Long Fei tensed up. Eorong's eyes also tensed up as he answered without even thinking, "You live, and I die." Long Fei immediately asked, "Are you joking?" Xianming master said with a face full of pride, "Little brat, you want to die on your own? Or do you want the woman you love to die? It's hard to choose, right? Haha, is it painful? Kneel down and beg us." Long Fei immediately scolded, "Kneel your ass." Xianming master was not angry. Seeing Long Fei's anger, she became even more proud. "If you don't kneel, the two of you will die inside." Sky Envoy bellowed, "Are you two going to fight? If you don't want to fight, then both of you should die inside." As soon as he finished, Sky Envoy turned his right hand. An array of divine light shot down, quickly entering the boundary. The aura inside the boundary suddenly changed, and the devouring force that had just disappeared once again appeared. At this moment, Long Fei only had a little more than 10,000 health points. The Spring of Life was unable to recover. Now that he didn't have the protection of the Black Dragon, the power of devouring in the boundary would make his health point drop rapidly. He would die. More than 10,000 health points could do nothing about it. Boom. Rumble. Rumble. The powerful energy in the boundary began to fluctuate. Eorong immediately stood to the side to protect Long Fei and asked, "What do we do?" "Long Fei, kill me." This array boundary was simply too strong. It was simply impossible to break through. Furthermore, the anaphasic force inside was extremely powerful, so it was impossible for the two of them to hold on for long. They would all die in there. As for two of them dying, it was better than one of them dying. Long Fei said, "Don't be foolish. Even if I die, it will be me. How can I let my woman die in front of me?" But Eorong's face tensed up. Long Fei interrupted him and said, "There's no but." His eyes moved slightly as he looked at Yuan Shan, who was outside the boundary. Yuan Shan nodded lightly. Long Fei took a step forward and directly pointed at Zhao Chongshan's nose. "Damn eunuch, you don't dare to come in, right? You two pustules were taken by me just now. If you enter again, you'll be courting death." Zhao Chongshan laughed. "Brat, what's the use of saying all these if we don't go in? Will you be able to come out?" You are about to die. Do you think you can withstand Master Sky Envoy's array power?" Xianming Master also laughed with cold contempt. "He used to be a trash, but now he's still a trash. What do you think you can change? You think you can save Eorong? You can't change anything. Ha! This is your life. This is your trash life. Ha ha ha." Xianming Master laughed coldly. Seeing Long Fei within the boundary, she couldn't help but become excited, because Long Fei would soon kneel on the ground and beg for forgiveness. However, at this moment, a person suddenly approached the realm. Yuan Shan. He used all of his strength to directly crush the space ring that Long Fei gave him. It was also at this time. Long Fei laughed sinisterly. "Can't change what? I might not be able to change other people's lives, but your life. I will definitely trample it to death." Boom! The Nantian monument soared into the sky. Chapter 2632, Target Lock. Chapter 2632, Target Lock. The space ring shattered. A divine light shot up into the sky. Nantian monument. The space between Sky Envoy's eyebrows tightened. Zhun Tian stones. Xianming Master. Zhao Chongshan said as he looked up into the sky, slightly startled. "It's just a broken stone. What can you change? Stop me death?" "Ha! Little bastard, you don't have the qualifications." Xianming Master was also slightly angry. "What can a broken stone change? Can kill? Or could he break the array? Nothing can change. Of course. This was because the Xianming master did not know what kind of stone the Nantian monument was, nor did he know how strong its power was. It was a rock in the ancient world. It was the stone that once suppressed the ancient world's #1 powerhouse. Although it was only a small part of the Nantian monument, if its power was to be released, it would be unstoppable, but Longfei was also currently unable to release all of its power. It could not release all of them, but it could release some of them. Nantian monument rushed up into the sky. Buzz! A ray of light enveloped the area. The boundary that was immediately released by the sky envoy was enveloped. Formation? Another boundary? What's going on? What does he want to do? The people around didn't understand. Xianming master sneered. "Io, you scared me to death. So you're just a boundary?" Zhao Chongshan also laughed. "Is your boundary's power even stronger than Lord Sky Envoy's? Unless you want to use a formation to break it?" Longfei smirked and laughed. "You're right. I want to break the array." In that instant, the Nantian monument was the eye of the formation. Descending vertically, as though a stone from outer space, it smashed straight down towards the very peak of the boundary's array formation. Rumble, rumble, rumble. With continuous explosive sounds, the space continued to shatter, and it was as if countless numbers of Nantian monument were being crushed to pieces in the sky. Walala! Sky Envoy's gaze tensed up, but Xianming Master was extremely disdainful. Because of the power restriction, no matter how strong Longfei's power was, it was still just the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm. This was the limit of the Zhen Wu continent's power, but the Sky Envoy came from the Universal Realm's power. No matter how strong the force was, it could not destroy the power released by the Sky Envoy. This was a law. No one could break it. Little bastard, are you dreaming? How could someone like you break the formation of the Lord Inspector Heavenly Palace? It's better for you to quickly kneel down and kowtow and beg for forgiveness. Xianming Master was perhaps correct, but this is a Nantian monument, Zhen Tian stones. Its power was suppression. The instant the Nantian monument touched the boundary, an extremely strong suppressive force. Crack! The boundary barrier was like an eggshell. It instantly shattered, and in less than a second, the entire barrier was covered with cracks. It was densely packed. Another second. Boom! Walala! Boundary directly shattered. Fragments of boundary fell down one after another and quickly vanished without a trace. 2 seconds. The array formation released by the Sky Envoy shattered. Rumble! The Nantian monument landed heavily, landing right beside Longfei. The half of the tombstone was inserted into the ground, causing Longfei to lean slightly against the Nantian monument. Shock. Surprise. Everyone present stared at Longfei in shock, as if they were looking at a monster. He looked at the monolith next to him and felt his scalp go numb. What kind of stone is this? What is this? Oh my God! How many treasures does this boy have? First, it is the summoning of the demon world's war generals, the black dragons and the ghosts. Now, yet another piece of rock that was so strong, this guy. Just how many other treasures does this fellow have? His scalp was truly numb. He released new things over and over again. No heavy sample. I'm just asking you, are you afraid? The space between Sky Envoy's eyebrows tightened. The Zhentian stones is actually erupting with such powerful energy. What exactly is this brat's identity? The Zhentian stones. The #1 divine stone in ancient world. Legend has it that the stone that could suppress the strongest demon in the ancient world, even the Emperor Xian, couldn't control it, so it wasn't possible to use it. However, Longfei was able to unleash the power of the Zhentian stones. What kind of power was this? Sky Envoy was also extremely shocked in his heart. However, in the next second, the Sky Envoy said sinisterly, "Regardless of your identity, all of your power will be mine, he." Greed had taken over everything. At this moment, Sky Envoy's name turned from a faint red color to a blood red, all the red turning black. He could make a move at any time. Impossible. Impossible. Zhao Chongshan shook his head, unable to believe what had just happened. Xianming Master's eyes turned sinister. The power of nether on his body surged forward like a huge wave. True martial emperor's pressure rumbled loudly as he charged towards Long Fei like lightning. It was incomparably vicious. So what if we break through the boundary? We still have to die. Xianming Master laughed sinisterly. I still can't change it. Eorong's expression tightened and said, Long Fei, be careful. Boom! The power in Eorong's body exploded as an enormous simulacrum of a netherworld phoenix burst out. An incomparably large netherworld phoenix flew towards the top of Long Fei's head. Bitch! Scrammed to the side. Xianming Master was even angrier. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. The killing intent in his eyes became stronger than ever. Damned old granny, I have tolerated you for a long time. Go to hell. He was furious. He couldn't hold it in any longer. 1 second, half a second. The aura on Long Fei's body moved, and the idea entered the Ming clan seal space. The aura on her body suddenly changed. Super force of Ming clan. Buzz. The aura on Long Fei's body started to change. The ancient inheritance began to surge out crazily. In this instant, the aura around Long Fei instantly enveloped the entire palace and turned it into hell in an instant. Super force of Ming clan. Super force of Ming clan. It's the power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance. You are the lord who released this super force of Ming clan? Xianming Master was confused. He was completely dumbfounded. Her body was shaking. His heart trembled. The fear in her heart soared to the peak. It was even worse than the idea that Long Fei used the dragon-head wolf-fanged mace to hit her. Impossible. Impossible. It can't be you. It definitely can't be yours. Xianming Master's voice trembled. This is a feeling that no one can understand. All her life, she had been searching for the Ming clan, searching for the Ming clan's ancient inheritance, but now that the Ming clan's ancient inheritance had appeared, it was actually the trash she had always thought of. It was like a joke. It was such a huge joke that even he was laughing at himself. How funny. The Xianming Master let out a fierce howl like a ghost and roared, No, you can't possibly be someone from the Ming clan. You can't be The powerful force continued to bombard him like crazy. At this moment, Long Fei's eyes moved and coldly spat out a word, die. Ding! System notification. Target locked. Chapter 2633, Xianming Master die. Chapter 2633, Xianming Master die. Within the Ming clan seal, the power suddenly changed. The power of the second stage. The underworld fire erupted. A ray of purplish-black flames moved, and Long Fei faintly said, Burn, old demoness. Buzz. The underworld fire was released. An enormous flame enveloped Xianming Master. At this moment, the power released by the Xianming Master was instantly devoured and disappeared as her entire body fell from the air. Bam! The amount of blood on his head was rapidly decreasing. Xianming Master was frantic. No, 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 don't kill me. She rolled and crawled until she was in front of Long Fei. Kneeling on the ground, he said, I'm in the wrong, my lord. I'm in the wrong. Please forgive me. I'm in the wrong. Please, I won't dare anymore, my lord. I am a descendant of the Ming clan. I am also a member of the Ming clan. Please spare me. When the underworld fire was released, the Xianming Master was helpless to resist. Moreover, she was well aware of what the Ming clan's ancient inheritance power meant, and it meant that it was irreversible. The first person to obtain the power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance was Pluto. Pluto inherited the super force of Ming clan's cultivation, but many people could only cultivate the super force of Ming clan, so they were unable to truly grasp the power of the ancient inheritance. Underworld fire was the second power. This also meant that the Ming clan's ancient inheritance was in Long Fei's hands. In other words, Long Fei is the king of hell. Actually, it was not just Long Fei alone who possessed the Ming clan's inheritance. There was another person who received the Ming clan's legacy, Long Fei's clone during the Primordial War. Moreover, he did not have as much power as Long Fei's Ming clan, so he had obtained all the treasures left behind in the Chaos Realm. If Long Fei was said to be the king of the underworld, then it would be more accurate to say that his clone was the real king of the underworld. Of course, the premise was that his clone would completely comprehend the powers from the Ming clan's inheritance. The clone never stopped cultivating. However, Long Fei's current memories were blocked by the seal. He simply could not remember having an avatar of himself, and had already the avatar that entered the universal realm. Long Fei looked coldly at the Xianming master that was in pain on the ground and said, "Now you know your wrongs? What have you been doing? The words you said to me in the Forbidden Grounds, the power of the Zhenwu realm had crushed your father. Moreover, the words you said yesterday, the things you did to Yurong, you *king had the nerve to beg for mercy? I have never seen a master more vicious than you. Spare you? I'm sorry. I won't spare a single person who deserves to be killed." Long Fei said fiercely. Anyone who deserved to be killed must be killed. It doesn't matter who he is. This was Long Fei's principle. At this time, Yurong landed beside Long Fei. When Xianming Master saw Yurong, he immediately grabbed onto her as if he was trying to save his own life. "Yurong, save me. I swear I will never force you to do anything ever again. Make him let me go. I won't dare anymore." Yurong's expression was ice cold. She no longer had this master in her heart. The Xianming Master's health point was decreasing more and more. She panicked a little and said anxiously, "Yurong, I'm your granny. You're my own granddaughter. How could you see your grandmother die in front of you? I beg of you, please spare me. Don't you like my granddaughter? Are you going to kill her grandmother?" Suddenly, Long Fei was also shocked by Xianming Master's words and looked at him. Yurong said coldly, "My grandmother died when I was very young, and my grandmother dotes on me a lot, so she's the person who loves me the most in the world. She's dead." Xianming Master was stunned for a moment, then said, "She didn't die. She didn't die. The one who died was not your granny. I am your real granny, Yurong." Yurong enunciated each word clearly. "My grandmother is already dead. You were the one who told me." Xianming Master was trembling. The things that he had done. She really regretted it now. If Yurong had known from the beginning that he was her biological grandmother, perhaps everything would have been different. Maybe, since she could obtain the super force of Ming clan, there was no need to go to God's sect gathering. Why? Xianming Master roared in his heart, his incomparably sinister eyes staring straight at Long Fei, his hatred soaring to the skies. All of this was because of Long Fei. All of this was because of the appearance of this person. Then, Xianming Master looked at Sky Envoy and said, "Lord, please save me. Lord, please save me. I am willing to do anything for you. And, Lord, I know that the tomb of the Ming clan's war god, Ming Long, was there before. If you save me, I'll tell you everything." He really wanted to live. He did not hesitate to betray his ancestors. Of course, ancestors were only used to betray and trample on people like her. However, Sky Envoy smiled and said, "Not interested." Ever since Long Fei released the underworld fire, the Sky Envoy's eyes released a gold light. No one knew how excited he was. "We've finally arrived. We're finally here. I told you that he has the power of the ancient inheritance in his body." Ha ha! My guess is right. I'm going to hit the jackpot. I'm going to become someone with inherited powers. Ha ha! I'm going to become the ruler of one side of the universal realm. Ha ha ha! Sky Envoy's eyes shone with a golden light, the same expression as when Long Fei saw the boss. In his eyes, Long Fei was also a boss. Seeing the iciness in Sky Envoy's eyes, Xianming Master crawled in front of Zhao Chongshan and said, "Save me. Use your dragon bloodline Emperor's Qi to save me." Zhao Chongshan was ice cold and did not even have the intention to look at the Xianming Master. At this moment, his heart was also faintly trembling, because he knew what the power of the ancient inheritance meant. This meant that a tiny bit could cause him to die 100,000 times. Even now, he couldn't protect himself anymore. So how could he save others? Moreover, he had no idea how to save them. The underworld fire was burning, and no one could save them. Xianming Master's body slowly shrank. The health point above his head had already bottomed out. After begging for a whole round, no one was able to save her. Even the elders of the Ming clan who were hiding at the side, silently stood at the side with no intention of saving her. Xianming Master stared at Long Fei and said, "It's you, you dog. I'm going to die with you." The Xianming Master threw himself at him like a madman, but before she could stand up and fall to the ground, she couldn't even stand properly. All the strength in his body had been completely devoured by the underworld fire. Long Fei said coldly, "There's no point in acting like this. Old witch, this is your life. Explode for me." Boom! When the underworld fire gushed out, its shriveled body directly ruptured, just like a black coal that cracked. It was also at this time. The system sounded out. Ding! Long Fei smirked. The first boss go dry. Next, his gaze turned, locking onto Zhao Chongshan. "Do you think you can see through me? Do you think you can see through me?" Xianming Master fell. The state of death was extremely miserable. There was not a trace of sympathy in Long Fei's eyes. If he could, he wanted Xianming Master to die a more miserable death. Because hatred. Because everything that the Xianming Master had done to Yurong made him unable to extinguish the flames even after killing him 10,000 times. It didn't matter if she touched him. However, the person who touched his woman did not believe it. The system beep rang. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Xianming Master, for gaining 100 million experience, 100 million true chi points, and 100 arrogant god energy value points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Underworld Linglong. Only one dropped. Long Fei grinned and thought, "Damn old granny, you're so stingy." Only one item dropped. Isn't that a bit too little? This is one of the 3 bosses after all. Long Fei opened up the system to take a look. Item: Dark Linglong Attribute. Grade: Description: Ming Clan's Sacred Artifact. Description 2. Placed in the designated location will release the power within the exquisite energy. Description 3. Not to be lost, not to be transferred. F***CK. What the hell is this? It would be better if you give me a few holy artifacts to exchange for exchange value. Long Fei was not happy. Luckily, we still have 2 more bosses. There are no more explosions from Xianming Master S. As for what exactly is Netherling Long, he was too lazy to care. The most important thing right now was the drop of a boss. Long Fei looked up and locked his gaze on Zhao Chongshan and said with a slight smile, "Didn't you say just now that I was too arrogant?" Zhao Chongshan's brows tightened, and his body subconsciously trembled as he immediately shook his head. "I never said that. Besides, are you arrogant? You're not arrogant at all. You look too amiable. He's just like an angel." Zhao Chongshan was afraid. His cultivation was stronger than Xianming Master's, that he could guarantee. But no matter how strong he was, it was useless because Long Fei possessed the power of ancient inheritance. So when a strand of power was released, Xianming Master would kneel on the ground like a dog. So what if he was strong? He wasn't a match at all. Long Fei laughed. "Your grandson is stealing my woman, and you are also stealing my woman. I don't dare. Master, how could I dare to snatch a woman from you? Even if you gave me 10 guts, I wouldn't dare. The palace also has a group of beauties from all clans, and they are all virgins. All of them are yours, and all of them are yours." Zhao Chongshan slowly retreated, his eyes staring straight at Long Fei. Sky Envoy did not save Xianming Master just now. Obviously, he wouldn't save him either. What he needed to do now was to escape. Long Fei smiled slightly. "You are truly generous." Zhao Chongshan said, "Master, as long as you say it, I will give you whatever you want. Do you want a throne? Do you want it? All yours, all yours." As long as he could survive, all of this would be for naught. Zhao Chongshan said, "As long as you let me go this time, everything here will be yours. Long Fei, I apologize for the unhappy things that happened in the past. I apologize." Zhao Chongshan said in a sincere tone, "The Zhao family still has a little strength. If you are willing, my Zhao family will listen to you." Long Fei grinned. "Are you as obedient as a dog?" Zhao Chongshan's gaze tensed up. He gritted his teeth and said, "Be as obedient as a dog. Huh? An old eunuch like you really can endure more than an old demoness just for the sake of living." Long Fei sneered. "You even dare to cut off your lifeline. Why are you afraid of death? What's the point of telling me about you, a damn transvestite?" Long Fei approached her step by step. At the same time, in his mind, he was also paying attention to the cool down of the underworld fire. A little more time. But Zhao Chongshan did not know. He simply did not know what a system was, nor did he know what a cool down meant. He had thought that Long Fei's underworld fire could land on his body at any time. Furthermore, there was no way to dodge it. Long Fei was currently riding on his head. Zhao Chongshan's gaze tightened and said, "Long Fei, what exactly do you want? This is still the Zhao family's territory. I still have 100 behind me. Even if we fight, you won't be able to gain anything. There are still a lot of people from your Xinyu sect here. Don't push yourself too far." Long Fei laughed. "Apologies, I like to push my luck too far. Don't you people usually kneel and kowtow? Today you and all of your Zhao family members kneeled down for me to sing Conquest." Ha ha ha! Zhao Chongshan clenched his fists tightly, the profound spirit chi on his body turning into flames. He had never been so useless in his life. If not because he was afraid of the power on Long Fei's body, would he have had to endure till now? He had long since sent a slap over. But, with the powerhouse as his king, he was now a weakling. At this moment, Sky Envoy said coldly, "Zhao Chongshan, go up and kill him." Sky Envoy had been silent the entire time, but when he suddenly said this, everyone present was startled, especially Zhao Chongshan. He suddenly became excited. This was a signal. A Sky Envoy would help him signal. Zhao Chongshan looked at Sky Envoy and said, "Master, the power of the ancient inheritance on his body." The Sky Envoy laughed coldly and said, "The power of the ancient inheritance that he has mastered is still very weak. Moreover, according to his current cultivation, he can only use it once. He already doesn't have any extra power to release the power of the ancient inheritance. So, right now, he is just an ordinary Zhen Wu realm warrior." As soon as he finished, Zhao Chongshan's eyes immediately lit up, and he shouted, "You dog! You want me to kneel? You want me to sing Conquer? Now Lousy wants you to kneel on the ground and not be able to stand up." His voice was filled with rage. It was as if everything he said was on fire. The anger was indescribable. And in that instant, the Emperor Zhenwu's realm on Zhao Chongshan's body completely burst forth, surging with unparalleled power as he shouted in a deep voice, "Attack!" 100 Zhenwu realm powerhouse S surrounded Long Fei in an instant. "Kid, let's see how you can act crazy now," Zhao Chongshan said in a heavy voice. Long Fei stared at Sky Envoy, smiled slightly, and said, "Did you see through it?" Eorong's body immediately moved to Long Fei's side to protect him, and said, "What do we do now?" Long Fei smiled slightly. "Don't worry, just watch from the side." Then, Long Fei stared at Zhao Chongshan again and laughed coldly. "Look, clearly this daddy is so arrogant. Ding! The underworld fire has finished cooling. Just right. The 150-second cooldown was up. Boom! Long Fei's palm moved. A cluster of purplish-black underworld fire appeared once more. Immediately, Zhao Chongshan was immediately struck dumb, and his body started to tremble rapidly. He looked at the Sky Envoy and said, "Master, save me." Ding! System notification. Target locked. Chapter 2635, Big Boss, it's your turn. Chapter 2635, Big Boss, it's your turn. Ding. Target locked. The corner of Long Fei's mouth lifted slightly. He looked at the purple-black underworld fire on his palm, then looked at Sky Envoy and said, "You think you can see through me? Who am I? How can you see through me? So what if you're a Sky Envoy? Did he really think he was some kind of god? You are not the god's tribe's patrolling dog. What do you represent? You don't mean anything," Long Fei said coldly. At the same time, this was also a form of psychological warfare. Long Fei was secretly shocked in his heart. The underworld fire's cooldown for the first and second time was only 150 seconds. It could be said to be over very quickly. But the third cooldown required 2 hours. Just as the Sky Envoy had said, with his cultivation level, he would not be able to keep up with the power of the underworld fire. Even if he could release it, his body wouldn't be able to withstand it. This was the limitation of the laws of the plane. The center of Sky Envoy's brows tightened. He did not expect Long Fei to release his underworld fire once again, and said in surprise, "Seems like I underestimated you. With your cultivation, you are actually able to activate the ancient inheritance's power 2 times in a row. That's all." Sky Envoy laughed coldly. He was the descendant of God's tribe, and he was more or less clear on the fact that the God's tribe controlled 99% of the ancient inheritance's power. The more powerful the ancient inheritance, the more powerful the body and power needed to be to release. What power did Long Fei grasp? The power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance. Amongst the many powers of the ancient inheritance, it was an upper-level ancient inheritance, and could be said to be a match for the Emperor Xian. This kind of power requires a strong physical body to release. The Zhenwu continent was only a lower realm, so no matter how strong the body of the warriors in this kind of realm was, they wouldn't be strong. His physical body had already reached its limit, and he wouldn't be able to withstand any more power for a short period of time. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "See through everything? Ha ha! Since you were so awesome, why did you let that damn eunuch become your cannon fodder? You're so awesome. Why didn't you do it yourself? Because you're afraid. Just now I was scared to the point of peeing by the black dragon. This time I'm going to scare your sh*t out. Watch carefully. I'll let you know what the infinite ancient inheritance power is." Boom! The underworld fire moved, locking onto its target. He immediately released it. He had originally wanted to lock onto the Sky Envoy, because this guy was the strongest boss, but it seemed like he knew everything about himself. The power of the ancient inheritance. Long Fei didn't even know what it was. He simply did not know what the power of the ancient inheritance was. He only knew that the Ming clan imprint on his left arm contained an incomparably powerful power. Boom! The underworld fire moved. Zhao Chongshan's body inexplicably burned up. At this moment, the power within his body was frantically shrinking and was crazily being devoured by the underworld fire. Zhao Chongshan's face turned white and anxiously said, "Master, save me. Master, save me. Quickly, quickly save me." Sky Envoy's eyes were cold. Just like before, he did not have the slightest intention to kill Zhao Chongshan. In his eyes, Zhao Chongshan and Xianming Master were the same type of insignificant people. It had nothing to do with him. "Ah! Save me! Hurry up and save me! Zhao Chongshan wailed miserably, all the energy in his body disappearing crazily. Just now, he watched as Xianming Master rolled on the ground in pain, and he couldn't feel it all. Now he knew what this pain was. His mind was burning. His sea of consciousness was burning. Every organ in his body was burning. Moreover, it was an indestructible flame that he could not defend against with any of his strength. It was too hard to bear. Zhao Chongshan bellowed, "Kill him, kill him. He can't release the power of the ancient inheritance anymore. Quickly, kill him." Long Fei laughed coldly and said, "If you don't want to die, then come." The aura emanating from his body instantly overwhelmed everything else around him. Sky Envoy coldly snorted and said, "Everyone attack together." Zhao Chongshan had already been burnt by the underworld fire, and his words were useless, but Sky Envoy's words were different. Moreover, in that second, Sky Envoy's voice suddenly became gloomy. Go. Boom. It directly destroyed the overwhelming aura on Long Fei's body, and all of the 100 powerhouses of the Zhen Wu realm pounced towards Long Fei. Yurong released his powerful energy. Long Fei's gaze tightened and said coldly, "Giving out experience? I will accept them all." Just as the sky sword fell, Long Fei wanted to start a massacre. Rumble. A thick, burning staff fell from the sky, heavily smashing into the ground. The ground cracked, and cracks began to burn. Shua. An enormous body descended with 3 heads and 6 arms. Its body was emitting an incomparably dense aura. His entire body was like a Sun Wukong possessed by the devil. The staff moved and swept in half a circle as he shouted in a domineering tone, "Whoever it is, come up and give a try. I'll kill you." Kong Kim arrived. It was also at this time. Shua. Kai Lina landed. Shua. Tang Rinja landed. Shua. Xiao Dai, Thin Monkey, Big L, and the others also descended. Next, the 17 sons of the demon emperors had also descended. Ha ha ha. They're all here. We can't wait for your order. We're coming ourselves. Gui Qingshan spoke out heavily, and then landed on the plaza outside of Great Hall. 100s of the Zhen Wu realm all descended. Their lineup was too powerful. The Zhao family has many people. There are many powerhouse in the Zhen Wu realm, but there were even more powerhouse on Long Fei's side. All of them were powerhouse of the Zhen Wu realm, especially the group that Gui Qingshan had brought in. All of them were wearing black robes. The fierce ones. This was truly an impressive stroke. They were all standing behind Long Fei, crushing the entire Great Hall. The people of 10 families were stupefied and lowered their heads, not daring to look at Long Fei. Zhou Yaozong's gaze also tensed up, his teeth chattering loudly. No one would have thought that there would be so many Zhen Wu realm powerhouses appearing overnight. All here. Long Fei slightly smiled, looked at Sky Envoy, and said, "Is your scalp going numb?" The space between Sky Envoy's eyebrows tightened. At this time, Zhao Wuji was covered in blood, leading the Zhao family guards over. Seeing Zhao Chongshan's body wither from the fire, and then, looking at Long Fei, he howled loudly, "Kill him!" However, no one dared to step forward. Zhao Chongshan staggered to Long Fei's side and said, "Spare me, spare me." Long Fei stomped his foot on the ground. Boom! The last bit of HP disappeared as Zhao Chongshan died. Long Fei raised his finger, pointed at the Sky Envoy on the stairs, and smiled. "Big boss, it's your turn." Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. Tonight at 8 p.m., I'll be waiting for you guys at Q. Welcome, bro. There's a red packet. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.